right, everybody, welcome into episode number 85, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. The podcast is over. I gotta go play Diablo. You guys have a great one. See you next week. We'll see you next week.
Nah, bro.
That's a wrap. I
think you misunderstood the shortest podcast for the long. We're doing the longest podcast tonight. It's 4 hours.
the fuck.
Yeah, we're actually doing a 24-hour podcast challenge.
It's true. Yeah, we have 24 hours worth of topics.
Then y'all host it because I'm the one with the hand on the button. So all I gotta do is just hit this little button right here that says stop, and we are done. Oh,
all I'm saying
is I had short Elden Ring time.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't able to play Cyberpunk.
None of those games are important. You don't understand.
I will give it to. I will.
That's the game of the year, sir. How dare you?
Fucking so was God of War, but that doesn't mean that it was that great. I will give it to Bill. Bill deserves to complain. Enigma, you don't get to bitch. Your game was so busted and broken, it barely even worked.
We haven't seen anything about Diablo 4. Just wait, sir. Just wait. Sir.
Listen, Lilith always giveth. Lilith always.
The only issues we're gonna have is how hard it hits the wallet.
Yeah. Dude, the very first thing I did was open up the shop, and it wouldn't work.
Of course.
It wouldn't work.
Worked perfectly for me.
Did it? It opened, but she said it was nothing. Nothing was available. Like there was like
worked perfectly for me.
Really?
They've got like three things for the druid, like 2 for the necromancer.
They definitely don't know their audience then, because if it would have been working, there's a great chance I probably would have spent money on it. I would have bought something.
God,
got him,
bro. I'm gonna fucking wail out of that on that game, especially if it's cosmetics.
You're a whale on any game, sir.
I am not.
You are.
I am. You are.
Sir,
you purchasing Overwatch?
What's
thanks to differ.
Hey, save it for the cast.
How much?
This is the
podcast. Have you spent on Riot on League of Legends?
Bro, that's over like the entire lifespan of fucking League. Like,
how much is it?
Wait, though. The fact of the matter is that he has bought skins and like entire packages for characters that he has only played once.
That's true.
Like upwards of 1,000.
Like Darius?
Thousands.
Like several.
I want to try Darius bot lane. Let me buy a skin for him real quick.
He probably has like
never
he probably has a Soraka skin, bro.
I've done that.
He probably.
I don't know if I have. I didn't buy a Soraka skin unless it came with it, but or came with something else. But
hey, so we're trying to derail this podcast as much as possible to stream, just so Sin can't get back to Diablo 4.
Bitch, I'm gonna tell you right now, 12:30 is gonna hit regardless of where we're at.
He's just gonna end it.
You're not getting any more.
We're gonna be talking.
Yeah, that's it. It's like it's and that's it. But no, let me pull. So I'll pull my numbers. Hold on one sec for what I have in League of Legends.
Oh, we're doing this.
Yeah, let me look and see what I have.
Because I know I have like $160 in League. I think.
Yeah,
I think I've
probably got into like the 300s. Yeah.
Okay, we got Google.
Where am I?
Oh gosh. we can see the screen.
Do what? Oh yes, you can. Let's not put my information in there.
Yeah, let's not put your account information out there, shall we?
Whoa.
Right. That could have been bad. Real quick. Hold on.
That's why. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Let me pull it over here where you can't.
It's still okay.
It's okay. I had to move it. I needed to move it over to a screen that I could wasn't showing my info. Yeah. All right. Let's see how many. Oh wait. This.
I know it's.
What is this site that you're using? Is this a credible site, or are you just putting your like credit card information?
Just putting my credit card information in.
I know it's high because we've talked about it before.
Oh, it is high.
That was before you and I started playing pretty heavily.
All right.
Speaking of which, when are we getting back to it?
I have.
Aren't they still fucking shit up?
Fuck me, man.
Like I said, I know for a fact he's got a lot because
for us.
I have played personally with him on at least a handful of champions that I know he's only played once.
Let's just say thousands. I'm gonna put that in there. Thousands of dollars.
I don't doubt it. It's probably within like the $9,000 range.
But he's not a whale.
Higher.
Higher. Oh
higher.
My God. Well, we now know why Riot refuses to ban him.
He said, bro, that's Ohio math right there. He said 9. I said higher. You said 7.
Oh, I thought he said 5, bro.
No, he said 9.
You're higher than 9?
Yeah. Let's just say that my
And he
league
says
league
he's
account
not a whale.
my league I never said that.
Bro.
My league account
You did.
no, I said I'm not a whale for like every
Clip it.
game.
Clip it.
My league account could purchase a vehicle. Let's just say that.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, I'm in the market right now, and it's high. So
You want to
know
just drive my
what?
league account?
Let's just
Yeah,
sell
can
your
I?
league account and see what we can get for
Oh
it.
Yeah.
man. Anyway, welcome into episode number 85. If you guys are new, this is not a league podcast, or at least about the amount of money that I have spent.
We typically derail the
We,
starts of our
we
podcast.
enjoy public shaming, though.
We do.
We
is
usually
accurate.
don't derail this hard.
I mean,
So,
I put
we-
$1,000. I put $1,000 probably plus into to Lost Ark.
Lost Ark.
Wow.
And that game's and that game fell off.
I play Lost Ark more than you, sir.
Great
I
decisions.
I know that.
Great decisions being made here.
Hey man, disposable income. Fuck off. I work a very I have a very specific class perk that allows me the ability
He
to
earned it.
Anyway,
Oh,
but
boy.
again, like I said, welcome to episode number 85. If you like what you hear, there's 84 other episodes just like this with this degeneracy that is this show. But no, super excited. Yes, it is Diablo 4 launch day. And we do have news. I fought to try to not do the podcast this week, but it wouldn't
Ain't
happen.
gonna happen,
We're
bro.
not allowed to.
Ain't gonna happen,
So,
bro.
but we do
Rain
have a
or
great
shine.
we do have a great show for you. Yeah, you guys can pick us up on Spotify, on our I almost said LinkedIn. Do we have a LinkedIn account?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Patch
no, we do
LinkedIn.
not. In fact, does anybody still have a LinkedIn account?
I have a
Sin
LinkedIn
does.
account. I have it for my
Wow.
job. So
Okay,
We all
but,
need to get some like headshots. For the...
right.
but you can listen to us live on Twitch.
Here, I'll
or
pose. You can
YouTube.
take my headshot now.
You gonna put the
There you
little
go.
black
You're
black
just gonna take a
bars up?
screenshot of your little.
Yeah, I'll
Your
just
little
take a
robot.
screenshot of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can catch us on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast. You can go into our Discord. I mean, there's Twitter, like there's so many there's so many places that you can
Oh, yeah.
find us. Nude or non-nude, whichever one you so choose.
I'm always nude.
Yeah, I don't want to know what that robot looks like from the waist down. Bro.
Yeah, man. Yep. You know it.
Boy, you holding on to that joystick down there? That
You know
controller.
it, bro. You know it.
No, it's more that thing's more like the GameCube nub than it is a joystick. Let's be honest.
Hey, man,
Let's
it's
call-
still a joystick,
Let's
sir.
call a spade a spade. Ain't no joy in that stick. Anyway.
Good God.
But
Oh,
yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna jump into it. Last week, if you didn't catch us, we were all talking about the PlayStation Showcase. This week, we are gonna be covering some of the stuff that was from last week, but obviously some of the news that was there this week. And to be 100% honest, this week has been fucking slow for like news and like, especially on Kick. Like normally we start with like Kick, Twitch, YouTube stuff. There's not really a lot. Like the sites themselves, like the platforms themselves have been fairly quiet unless we want to talk about like bans that happened that then in turn, like they just reversed it. Alinity got banned for not like, I don't know, what was it that she got banned
She got
for?
banned for
She was
twerking.
twerking to a song, not even like that heavy twerking either. Just like chill dancing.
Shit, that gets
She
promoted on Kick.
she made that booty bounce. I'm just saying.
I mean, she did, but it compared to what I see on the front page of Twitch every day. It
No,
was
for sure.
tame.
So
100%.
y'all did your research, is what I'm
I
hearing.
did my research. Yeah. Yeah.
For scientific reasons.
Yeah, for science.
Yeah. For
I used my joystick.
Good
Wow.
God, man.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Was that the unexpected company that happened?
Yes. Yep.
Jesus
It was Alinity.
Christ.
100%.
That or your joystick, one of the two popped up. So anyway, so Alinity got banned. They reversed it. I think that the only
Did they
thing there
reverse
is,
it right away?
yeah,
Really?
they reversed it like really quickly.
Was it?
Oh,
I
I
think it
missed
was
that
because
I know
she
it was a
said-
3-day ban, and she got pissed. She's
Yeah.
like, "This is a shit company. You know, I'm
Well, it's
gonna
'cause she
go
threatened
somewhere
to
else."
go to
Yeah, so
Rumble or
say-
Kick.
and
Kick,
Rumble
yeah.
or Kick, yeah.
She was gonna go to Kick, like 100%.
Let
That
her.
was the deal. Was that she was gonna go to Kick,
Let her.
and I think that they unbanned her for that. So, that's the only thing that I know there. Kick did sign Bruce Drop Me Off, as a partner over there, which is again.
About the only thing that I can think of on the YouTube side. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but did you guys see that that YouTuber that drove a plane into the or crashed a plane.
Oh, for the view. Yeah, he jumped out of the
He
plane.
jumped out of the plane and let the plane
Yeah,
free
let it
fall.
crash.
Yeah, it crashed. Yeah,
Yeah, and he went to jail.
Was like a couple $1 million worth of cleanup, and then went to jail. Yeah, he got thrown in prison.
Man, Mr. Beast is getting wild with his videos. Well, I think so. Okay, we can talk about this because it's actually a point that I talk about quite a bit with my kids and just in general being in the industry. Like, I think this is the nature of the problem of the way that YouTube is right now. Like the culture of YouTube videos is becoming this like the same thing that reality TV became, right? Like how do I get bigger and bigger and bigger? You know what I mean?
It
not
spans
just YouTube, it's everywhere. It's TikTok,
all platforms.
It's
Twitch, Kick.
Twitch,
like
Kick,
there's those live streamers that have been walking into people's houses for views as well over in like Britain or something. You know that you saw that too?
Yep.
Just walk straight into people's houses and like make
wanna,
themselves home.
You want to be careful with that shit. Like I was watching
in America, especially.
Yeah, I was about to say like you want to be careful with that. If that
in
was
America or in Britain, they might pull out like a fucking sword or something and be like, "Yeah, he got that to my house" or whatever. But in America, bro, they're gonna pull out guns.
Is that what British sound like? They sound like, yeah, Avasti. They just sound like pirates.
Yeah, I guess if you fucking break into Jack Sparrow's house.
Avasti, matey, get out to me house.
You better watch out for them, man. I'm telling you.
Definitely watch out for the pirates that live in Britain.
Shiver me timbers! What you doing in my yard?
What the hell has this podcast become?
Yeah. I mean, there was another one that too. I don't know where if he was on Kick or if it was Twitch that he was live streaming, but with the one guy where he was like just making very insensitive comments to the people over in like the Japanese subway.
Japan. Yeah, that was
talking about like Hiroshima and shit, and
just like just absolutely just being an asshole for no reason. Like, you know, that's the problem is like you're good, like you continue to just basically raise the bar, and when you have people and we've said it before, like Kick and whatever, like when you have people that promote this kind of stuff, and Twitch is the same way, like Twitch, you know, continuously promoting Kai-Cent and
you had that like you had that guy, I can never remember his name, the dude that looks really young but he's like 40.
Andy Milonakis.
Andy Milonakis.
Oh yeah.
He was the same way in some instances with some of his
Well, I don't think he took things as far.
He took some things pretty far. Like some of his real.
There is some old clips.
Rough. Yeah,
there is some old clips, but like, I don't know. It's different because it's like you watch like The Office nowadays. You're like, this shit can't pass. But you go back and watch his shit. It's the same way. But like back then, it wasn't as like sketchy water, you know. But now it's like, what the fuck is he saying?
Yeah.
But like it's like this degenerate mentality that these people have then, and you know, people just feed on that shit, and it's terrible, man. I hate it. And that's what gets the clicks and the views and all that, you know. So it just, the more people are viewing and watching this shit, the more they're just gonna do it because they know they're making bank, you know.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
But other than that, the platforms have been quiet. So a quiet week is always usually a good week. A good week for us as content creators. Bad week for us on the podcast when we try to cover the Twitch and all that kind of news. But it's okay. TwitchCon's coming up, so I'm sure Twitch will somehow fuck it up. Kick will do something that's gonna. Have we
ever seen, like, have we heard if KickCon is happening the same week as TwitchCon?
No, I think that was just a meme.
I don't think it's a meme, man. I think that they will do something, but it'll be very like. It will be within their It'll be very Kick, right? It'll be in that style and whatever else. Like, I'm sure that they're gonna do something to like try to crash TwitchCon, all that kind of shit. Like, I see that kind of behavior from them, you know. So, But yeah, so moving on to what we are playing. Scruffy, you've got some. Well, actually, me and you both played this.
Yeah, me and you for.
Don't sound so enthusiastic to talk about Veiled Experts.
As you guys can tell, like I cannot wait to show off this game.
I will put out there, I called this an ass game before you guys even started playing it, and you guys ripped into me and were like, "It's a good game, bro. Like, shut up."
I never said it was a good game. I said that I was playing the tutorial. I'm like, no, I mean this feels okay. Like, it feels good. It looks good.
I was like, this looks like ass, man.
The game visually does not look like ass. I think it looks like a PUBG kind of style
rough.
shooter. Okay. The game's veiled. Veiled. I said that the last time too. Veiled
Veiled.
experts. It's veal experts. Yeah, you just cook veal the entire time. No, it's veiled experts. It's free to play, I believe. Yeah, free to play
Yeah, it's
shooter
free-to-play.
on Steam. A lot. It's very akin to, if you guys know what's this game, Rogue Company, right? Very akin to that. It's that third person, like, I guess, arena shooter, team versus team with different game modes. Your typical team deathmatch, whatever, search and destroy, all that kind of stuff. But it's another hero shooter, so you got like all your different heroes with your bowman,
Wait a
your
minute,
sniper.
these are heroes?
Yeah, so
Heroes.
each character has
agents.
a class. Like
yeah, they
a
got a class and
perk and
special
stuff like
abilities
that.
and
Yeah.
This
whatnot.
is the most generic looking heroes I've ever seen.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I don't. That's the one thing like I thought would be okay about this game. They're not like going above and beyond. They're kind of making them almost like mercenary type. You know, like kind of like R6.
Like, they got
Yeah,
one
but even
that looks,
R6, like they look. There's at
Yeah.
least like they just
No,
look boring. They look generic.
they
are.
got one that's like the equivalent
John
of
Wick.
John Wick. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. You got that right. They are very boring, very generic. Like the guy I'm playing literally just carries a Jack Daniels bottle, which I thought was hilarious, but like he doesn't do anything more than that. It just he drinks it and he gives him a speed boost. That's
this-
Okay, up close
this
they
dude-
look a little bit better, but
This dude with the bow looks like a BTS
He does.
singer. Like
Yeah. But man, I didn't honestly go into this game with high hopes at all because you can't do that anymore. You get burned every time. So I'm glad I didn't. But I went into it giving it a chance, being like, okay, this could be something. I had a few friends who said, yeah, it's pretty good. They're saying they were addicted to it. Me personally, I mean, it's in how many? What do we got? Like 2 hours in this game at most.
We did not put a lot of time into it. I mean,
We
you
put
guys
like
put,
an
you guys
hour
put
and a
like,
half.
you guys put like 3 matches into it, man.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
I played the night before that.
Yeah, he played a little bit before.
As well.
but-
Like it's just
It's rough.
Veiled Experts is like, I think pinpoints exactly what the problem with gaming right now and is when it comes to these types of things. It's like, oh, CSGO's happening. Like, and again, I understand like these games may be developed or whatever else for a long time and all this like, but like it's just like, oh, hero shooters are popular. Let's have that added in. Oh, you need to buy stuff and make it round by round like CSGO does. Let's put that into the game. Oh, we need to have like these weird modes. Let's put that in the game. Oh, we need to have like destructible environments. Cool. Let's put that in the game. Oh, we need to have Juggernaut. Yeah, let's put that into the game.
I don't know.
And it's
I don't know,
like,
man. This one doesn't look like it was in development for that long. Like a lot of these look like stock assets. From
Yeah,
like
no,
UE5 and shit.
Either way, I don't think so either. But either way, Sin's right. Like it's
Madness
just
Warrior.
they're throwing everything at you into this game and everything because that is what they think that like we all crave, and maybe some people do, but it's like this like dopamine fix that they need to give us like literally endless amounts of things and shit and just throw it all in our face. And it's stupid. A lot of it is stupid.
the maps are
makes
bad.
no sense. The maps are terrible. The balancing is god awful. You like since you literally have like a team can summon a juggernaut into the game, and then it's game over. Like,
Yeah. Like it's and maybe the game would like Rogue Company I think did a fairly decent job at what it was trying to
Yeah.
accomplish, and like
I think so.
it has its flaws with it, but like this game it's like it's just so all over the place, and there's like the map design is so bad. Like there's like
God, that
like
farm map.
yeah,
ugh.
like every map has a basically a spot that like one team can absolutely get to the high ground or get to a spot where they have clear advantage and they can snipe you and that's it. And like you have to fight that off, and it's just so like impenetrable to try to do. And I don't know, like it just again I'm done talking about this. This game is not worth anyone's time. I don't think it's
It's not.
even worth free to play.
Like you said, it's just another regurgitated FPS. Just arena shooter. It's the same shit, just worse.
Yeah, It doesn't. They spent more time on this, like the cutscenes and the fucking anime, than they actually spent on the.
And
game
that's
design.
the shit I hate, because I know they were banking on this, like the cinematic like experience, you know, like loading into the games, you have this epic like load screen, you know, getting into the game, you have this like camera going over all the missions and objectives, and then after each round it does this shit, and it shows you a replay of like the round, which is cool, but it gets old in my opinion. I think you can, like, if you could choose to see it, sure, that'd be neat. And then you have to wait, dude. We haven't even mentioned, when you go into a round, your characters start dancing, bro.
Oh yeah, they start
dancing.
emoting right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like doing
What the
TikTok dances and weird shit.
Legit.
It's
Legit.
It seems like a
Because
Seems
people
like a
don't have high enough
Fortnite
attention
thing.
spans
Yeah.
to just sit and wait for the round
Yeah.
to
it just
start.
it just seems like a Fortnite thing. Like Fortnite's really rough with that, where it's just like everything is, it's just a hodgepodge of
Yeah,
whatever
well,
the
you
fuck.
wouldn't need that if they didn't have all this extra shit, and it would just get to the game, you know.
Yeah, it's rough. It's
It
just
is.
rough all the way
Anyways,
around.
that's
so.
that's veiled experts.
Veiled
Veiled.
Veiled experts.
Yeah, it might as well be. That baby
Yeah.
cow.
So, moving on, I picked up a game a while ago and started playing it. Well, while I was waiting for Diablo 4, because I needed something to play with Diablo 4 aside from Battlefield. And I picked up this game called Soulstone Survivors. Well, I've had this game, but I started playing it again. Soulstone Survivors. This came out here recently. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's still in early access.
I think it's on sale right now too.
It
For like,
is like
yeah,
$7.
or maybe
Yeah.
it might not be an early access. It might be full release, but it is on sale for like $6-7. 100%, like at from 10, like at both price points, it's 100% worth the money that you're going to spend. So again, obviously, you know, Vampire Survivors took off, right? Blew up. And so people were like, oh, fuck, let's make a game that can do the same thing, right? And there's a bunch of them. Actually, what was it? Hall of Torment just came out. That was another one.
There's one I told you to check out. I don't know if you ever did. It was called Brotato.
Yep, I've seen that.
That one's pretty cool.
You know, there's this one. I mean, there's just a bunch of them, right?
So
like,
why would I play this over Vampire Survivors?
Yeah, so the big thing here that this one has is, in Vampire Survivors, it's more about like your one character, and then the abilities that you get. It's basically like, okay, I'm gonna pick this one ability, and then it's gonna eventually change once I get to like level 10. With this one, you get 6 abilities that you choose. The abilities don't change, but you're amping up those abilities based on your build. So like there's a lot more build variety to this than there is in Vampire Survivors. Because like just inside the game here, you have your 6 abilities. They have like frontal, they'll have like elemental, they'll have physical damage, arcane damage, you have bleed effects, you have dots, you have poisons, you have burn, you have slows, you have fragility, you have I mean, all of these different like elements, stuff that you're building. And then on the left hand side of the screen, if you look over that big, like, looks like just a bunch of just like shit, those are these other abilities that I am basically, or perks that I'm picking up that amp stuff up, like
It's
how
like
big
passives.
Right. So how much, you know, how my speed, how many times can I dash? Do I get not life steal, but like, is my crit rate going up? You know, how often are my multi chances for my abilities to continuously kind of keep casting? So
are you actually using like these abilities, like they're
no, so
like
they're,
you
so they're
actually
au-
use
they're
them, or
auto,
are they
they're,
auto?
they're on their auto time. They all have their own cooldowns
Okay.
and they recast, right? But you're changing stuff. Plus also too, in this, like, you have to eat, you have different worlds that you go to acquire loot, because outside of the game, there's also build varieties where you're going to level up like skills that go across all of the different heroes that you choose, or you know, characters that you choose, which on this one I think I am doing I think this was Huntsman maybe. But you have like Huntsman, you have Ranger, you have spell blade, like Pyromancer, all of these different classes, and there's like 15 of them that you can choose from right now. And then you level those up to unlock better weapons that then give you different skills when you go into the battles. You then also level up like you have a whole skill set of what is called I think the rune tree, which in the rune tree, like, there's all of these different unlocks that you have to get points for to do it. So the answer to your question, I know this is a long answer to a very simple question, Bill, but it's build, right? There's just so much more build variety into this game. There's a blacksmith that's there, that allows you to craft weapons. You really can kind of build it out. And I love the art style of this too. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love Vampire Survivors art style as well, but this is a lot more like there's things happening on the screen. You need to move, you need to like get out of the way, and you can do some really cool stuff. It's really fun. Like, it really is a good time.
Gotcha.
Looks enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Looks
always
like you
just
could-
worried about these kinds of games that they add to more bloat than what the game is worth. Because one of the good things about Vampire Survivor is almost the simplicity of it. Like, it's one of those things that's easy to pick up, take down, especially now that they have the mobile version of it.
Yeah.
I actually been playing that. it's
Well, we-
pretty
These
good.
kinds
We
of
were-
games never really strike me as something that like need that much variety, but I'll take your word for it on it that it's
I
good
think
and well
I
thought
think it's
out.
nice. I think it's nice to have that variety. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
I
while yes, Vampire Survivors is extremely easy to pick up and play and everything like that, and it's a great game. Like, we were talking about this. I think me and you were talking about this in the other day, but I was also talking about it with Pro Templar, another one of our viewers and a good streamer friend of ours. He was playing that Halls of Torment, which it's essentially Diablo 2 meets Vampire Survivors, right? We were kind of talking about it. It's just like that one game spun off an entire essential genre, and granted, yes, they could have kept it simple and just been like, yeah, this is just a simple game. You can pick it up, put it down whenever you want to. I think that's one of the good parts about Vampire Survivors, but also one of the bad parts is it is very simple and it's very easy to just kind of pick up and forget after you've played it a couple of different times, in my opinion at least.
no,
No.
that's fair.
And
Yeah.
I think too, like this isn't like where I fell off of this game was that at first, like my first taste of this was like, fuck, there's a lot here. But then when you actually like sit, like you take just like more than fucking 5 minutes to sit down and look at it, it's like, oh, okay. And this to me is the right amount of complexity and build variety that I don't get from Vampire Survivors. Like vampires, because Vampire Survivors, so it has builds. It's not
I was gonna say, I mean, it is simplistic, but it still has some depth to it too. Like, it's not just like,
which one? You talking about Vampire Survivors?
Vampire
Yeah,
Survivors,
yeah,
correct?
100%.
Yeah.
But this has, because of like the way that you build, and you can get an ability and then change it up and be like, you know what, I don't like this ability anymore. I want to get another one and I want to level that ability up. Like, you can do that mid game. There's nothing stopping you. And I like every single time you unlock a new character, you get access to a whole shit ton of new abilities. So like that can show up in the other characters' builds. So like it's worth the $6. Like 100%, it's worth the $7. It's worth the $10. Like, if you like this style of game, if you want some kind of brain dead game that you just want to,
I think that's the right price point for any of these
perfect.
games.
So-
Anywhere from 10 and below. That's like
For sure.
that's this price point.
Yeah. So that's
Cool.
Soulstone Survivors. The other game that I played, which I picked up yesterday on a whim. I saw this. I think this game was at one of the showcases. I'm not 100% sure which one, but this is called Friend versus Friend.
Furries.
Yeah. Can I just
Nobody
point
was
out,
surprised.
it has nothing to do with it. He picked it up out of a whim. It was the furry intention.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
It was.
100%. Anyway, so Friend versus Friend. So this is a 1v1 2v2 game. So it is a competitive game where you play as it's a shooter. You guys ever play the game called 13 or remember the game 13 from
Yeah.
a long time ago? So
Yeah.
this art style is that vibes. I get 13 vibes all day long from it. It is not like supposed to be accurate or any, like it's very arcadey style shooting. And essentially you build a deck that you then take into these matches, and you get a certain amount of cards at the beginning of each round. And then you use those cards to compete. So one of them may be like, hey, I want to make somebody have like this one here. I got 2 healing items. And I got another one where I can lay down a landmine. So it's a 1-cast card. I throw it down. Once I use it, it's done and burnt, and I can't, I won't have it again until possibly the next round whenever we go. But you'll have like a heal item, so your health will go up. You have things that like shrink the enemy's heads or shrink your heads, make the enemy's heads bigger, so you can get better headshots. Everybody starts with the same gun, and then you'll have cards that'll be like, oh, you're gonna have a sniper rifle, so you'll pull out a sniper, right? It's I think $6 is how much this game cost.
Yeah.
Is it something that I would pick up and be like, oh, I'm gonna go pro in friend versus friend? No. Is it a fun like just I want to jump in and play something stupid and mind numbing, and play a shooter? Yes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it is.
This kind of has like some of that like Nidhogg energy going
Nidhogg,
into it.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I mean,
I mentioned it gives me the vibe of that roguelike Gunfire Reborn.
Yeah.
Just the style and the
It's a cool element, right? It's something that we've not really seen in this space yet with like, there's a lot of deck building games, there's a lot of first person shooter games, but like this is like cool, we're going to combine the two and make it, quick and fun and whatever else. So like right there, like I just got my shotgun.
We had like Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb was really fun. I don't know why it went away. It just didn't do well, but
I think the card system in that, like, nobody wanted to actually use it. I think that's what it was. It was cool,
yeah,
but from what I remember, people hated it.
I enjoyed Dirty Bomb, even when they added the card system. I thought it was really fun.
The other thing about this,
get that vibe.
the rounds are very short. Like they're extremely short.
It seems that way.
it's
I
not
mean,
a
that's
bad thing,
because
though.
it's a 2v2 or a 1v1.
Yeah, that could be a good thing, just like easy, quick matches to jump into.
I'm almost curious if they chose the 1v1 and 2v2s for that very specific reason, if they wanted to keep like the match length down, or if it was just like a I
don't think that I don't know. I think that they could have done like a 3v3 or 4v4.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like they probably could have.
They maybe only started because they weren't sure like how big of a player base. Yeah.
The game is
so
early access
they could always add 3v3, 4v4, and
each one of the characters has their own ability. So like the duck, you have like you always start with a green herb, and
of course
to heal.
You look at his eyes too. He's a stoner.
Absolutely, dude. Like the characters in this game are 100%. Like the duck is a fucking stoner. The lizard is like a nerd. The moose is like a super sensitive character. The cat is like a douchebag. Because cats are douchebags.
Fucking cats
like,
are douchebags.
Yeah. So.
I'm glad you figured out all these guys' backstories. You must be really invested.
That's what I was saying. It's because it's furry, man.
Well, yeah, he's got to come up with his own persona as well, and his whole backstory.
Yeah. He told me last night that his persona is actually Scrooge McDuck. Like that is.
You told me that, you dick. But anyway, the last thing I'll say about it is this has got some of the better map designs that I've seen in a game in a long time for something like this. Like. There for $6, I was not expecting to have like a decent map design, but like the subway system, like there's ways that you can like pop up and get into different angles. You have
the thing is they're probably using just the tried and true like 101 to map design and not convoluting it with all these little pathways and shit. Like they seem simplistic, but also
and corners.
Yeah, like the fundamentals of what just it is to make a map, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they have the other thing they do is they have a map that is you're on a highway and you're literally you're jumping between these two cars and trucks, and it's a tiny ass map, and it's fucking great.
Reminds me what's that
Gang Beasts.
Yeah, Gang Beasts, where you're on like the trains and shit.
You have like the dynamic maps and whatnot. And that's always fun too. Give it some really environmental twist.
So,
I think my only critique is like the UI is like
it's rough. Yeah, it's
just a little rough.
I don't mind it.
I just maybe if all they had to do for me is move that card selection out of the middle of your screen, or make it smaller, or if you can customize it yourself, even better. Yeah, like when you're in the game and it's like you select the cards, it's like popping up like while you're shooting and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me that much. Like I don't know, but I like the UI. I like the goofy writing. Like I love the art style.
Very nice.
You get so you earn money in game that you can buy booster packs. There's no like premium currency that you pay for or anything like that. Like
for now.
It's all free. And you get new cards and I don't know. It's a cool
all
concept.
Free.
Oh
free.
my God.
Oh.
Holy shit. You play one fucking game that's got furries in it, and you're a furry forever.
But it's not one game. You have literally purchased several.
I've purchased two. I can't help that they made these characters ducks and fucking tigers and whatever else. Like,
Hey,
if
maybe they'll add a whale to this game so can play.
I think that's what it needs to be. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm still thinking that Scrooge McDuck is his persona.
Friends versus Friends. It's on Steam right now. You can go pick it up and play it. It's a fun little time. Like, again, not these games. None of these games I would dump hours and hours and hours and hours into, but it's a fun little game to play. Or so yeah, that's what I've been playing. Enigma, you have been playing Ghost Lore.
Yeah,
correct.
Looking at your gameplay.
I'm kind of not my gameplay, but
your
the
gameplay.
developers' gameplay. I did have gameplay, but it was going to take like 7 hours to upload. But yeah, this is I was kind of in the same boat as Sin was, where I was just like, I need something to kind of tide me over. I was playing V Rising, the new Gloomrot that came out, and we'll probably talk about that maybe next week, if I can get closer. Well, I probably shouldn't say that.
You won't play Gloomrot.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to play Gloomrot anymore. So Gloomrot is good. It's good. We'll just set it there. But I was looking for kind of like a top down isometric that had kind of scratched that itch, and this one popped up just a little bit before Diablo 4 was like set to release. It's I started seeing stuff about it a little bit before, or a little bit after the Service Lamb beta. This is a top down action RPG developed by two people, I think from like South Korea or the Korea someplace. One of those, one of the eastern, one of the eastern countries. It's based off a huge amount of like Eastern lore, and like
I could see that even just
like
in the
ghosts,
style of this game as well.
Ghost lore, all of the enemies that you're going up against is like Eastern lore ghosts. So you've got like
like Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, kind of like Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah, you've got like the creepy like zombies,
the hopping vampires,
the creepy girls with like the long black hair that come out of TVs and shit. Yeah. But it does some things that are very interesting. And the reason why I picked this up was because of some of those things. So this game, it has a very like it still has the same things that like Diablo games have, where you pick a class, and whatever your class is, that details like what abilities
you can unlock. Class throughout the entire game. Is this like a progression based game?
Yes, yep, it's a progression game. So if you pick a class, that is your class throughout the entire game. It's not like a shift between, like you can't be like a I think there's one that's called like an artificer, and then there's the one that's called like a demonologist or something like that. You can't combine. Oh, you can combine them. They're later on down the road. You can actually combine them. So if you can you can like dual class. I think you can triple class. You can pull between 3 different classes. But the one cool thing that I had,
co-op. Sorry to interrupt. Just
this, I do not believe
would be great if it was co-op.
I don't think so. You might want to check that up on that.
Fucking
on
demon pigs.
Those are demon pigs. Yes.
Co-op.
It is co-op. Okay. No.
Yeah.
And it's a really good price for it too. I think it was only like $20, $15. Oh, was it $20? Okay, I think I got it on sale at some point. But anyways, like I was saying, there's a very interesting system. And Sin, you'll probably love this because it's basically Tetris, right? And I know how much you fucking love Tetris, right? There's a system in it that you get these little like cards. You see he's like hovering over him right now, and the glyphs on the side, the left side. So each of those glyphs, you can slot a glyph into that little stock area right there, and then on top of that, you have these glyphs that are like different different shapes, like Tetris shapes. So you've got ones that are like long L's, you've got ones that are squares, you've got ones that are like top down L's, everything like that, right? You can place those in there, and then those specific glyphs have intricate effects that happen whenever you slot other glyphs into them. So like one of the glyphs that I had was a summoner glyph. So like it had one where if you slotted a certain type of glyph in there, your summons had 30% extra health. It had one that if you slotted it into that specific one, your summons did poison damage. If it had one that was like your summons had more attack speed, it had one that was like your summons had more defense, etc., etc. And they had a bunch of different ones. They had ones for like attack speed, crits, certain damage types, electrical damage, everything like that, right? And I thought that was I really wish that more games would do that kind of thing, because it really does. It takes like an intricate approach to like class building or character building, right? Because you can find these certain types of glyphs that you can kind of slot in there if you're trying to do more of like a like an electrical build, but you still want to have like critical hits as well as like poison. You can find a glyph that does like critical hits, poison, and then another glyph that does a lot of like electrical damage and a lot of attack damage, etc., etc., right? So that's what kind of drew me into it. That, and I kind of liked the almost like the 8-bit style of the game. I've
Right.
always liked this style of game, like where it's like the 8-bits. I like old Nintendo or Atari style like graphics, but it's like it really does a really good job of like not being too 8-bit, but still having like the animations look clean. Like when you're dodging around, the animations do look really smooth. They look really clean, everything like that. So
That's what I was gonna mention.
Um,
Like I'm getting like old, like almost PlayStation vibes,
sure.
but like with new age kind of like, you know, graphics and whatnot.
for sure, yeah,
It,
yeah,
it
for
looks
sure.
good.
But yeah, it's set in like like I said, I can't remember if it's South Korea or if it's it's an Eastern lore of some sorts. They have a bunch of different systems. Like I said, they have the glyph system. They've got a really intricate skill system that you can like pick and choose between. You can like slot your skills into a kind of the same thing as your glyphs. Like your skills have like branching interactions they can have with other skills. So like
You know how
there's a
many
skill
classes
that
there are?
I believe there's 6.
Not bad.
I can't remember the exact names of all of them, but I
Is there a
believe there's
necromancer?
6. There's a summoner. It's not a
Summoner.
necromancer, but there is a summoner.
Is
Obviously,
that
like,
what's
Is it-
being played here?
this is what's being played here. Yeah, this guy's a summoner. So.
Looks like it's better than the necromancer that's
Looks-
on
Oh,
Diablo
100%.
4.
It's better than
Yeah.
this summoner, the necromancer summoner in Diablo 4.
Well, like you were
so.
saying, you can like kind of dual spec, so it looks like he's like
You
a
can
summoner
triple spec.
archer.
Like I said, you
and
can triple spec.
yeah.
Yep. So like if you want to be like a they have one that's called like it's called like a changeling or something like that, and that's the one that I was playing. You can like morph yourself into a were tiger,
So like a
and,
druid.
you, and
So
you,
you're a
you turn
furry.
into this like essentially like Sin would love this game.
So Sin's already in the the box right now buying
Well,
this
you
game.
can't- you
He's-
can't-
Refunded
turn-
Diablo just for this.
You
Yeah.
can't turn yourself into a were duck, so I'm sorry you can't be Scrooge McDuck, bud. But yeah, you turn into like this big old beefy like were tiger, and then you just like pounce on shit, and you just wah, 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 and just like tear into.
Is that how it
shit,
goes?
so.
Just like
Yep.
that?
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much. But
Cool.
no, it's really interesting. I want to put some more time into it. I didn't get a lot of time to play it because I was trying to balance between this and playing Gloomrot and trying to get into Gloomrot so I could talk about it. But I think for like the $20, it's a decent price for what you get, because I think it's like a 12 or a 13-hour campaign.
It looks really good. I'm actually heavily considering picking this up myself.
It's really fun, man. If you pick it up, let me
Especially
know,
if it's
'cause
co-op.
If you pick it up and it's co-op, I'll definitely play it with you 100%. Obviously,
it's giving me like that
before-
Hero Siege vibe, you know?
yeah, for sure. Yep.
But and like kind of Maple Story too. Obviously not the
A little bit.
same style, but you know,
It's funny that you
it's
mentioned
that
like Maple
Eastern
Story.
kind of look, you know.
It's funny that you mentioned Maple Story as well. Like they have a system in here as well for like food. So like food
Yeah.
gives you certain types of buffs, but you have to cook it. So it's like Eastern inspired
Definitely.
cooking. So you have like rice balls and everything like that, and they give you certain buffs and everything, but you also have to look for like ingredients out in the world when you're out in the world. So you'll come across like rice and
That's cool.
peppers and shit like that.
Definitely looks like it's got some
So-
like depth to it that more
It does,
than like
man. I
you
was
can kinda can see.
I was surprised. I was pleasantly shocked and surprised that I'm
I see
pretty
what
sure
you mean
this
by the
is-
Tetris now, right?
yeah,
Right here.
Yep,
It's
right
yeah,
there. Exactly.
yeah.
It's only being developed by 2 people, which is
That's
crazy. to me.
impressive.
So it's impressive. Like I said, Ghost Lore, $20 it looks like.
All right,
I think it's worth it.
you hit your time limit. We gotta move on.
My time limit, sir. My time limit.
Sin,
Excuse me,
you put
Mister.
2
Two
games in
fucking
there.
2 fucking games, sir. Thank you very much. But yeah,
I'm
it's
just
good.
kidding.
I'm good. Yeah, that's all I really had to say about it. It's a fun game, man. I would definitely if you like these top down isometric style games, it's got a lot of depth to it, surprisingly so.
Nice.
You also, I know we don't have footage of Gloomrot, but if you are unfamiliar with what Gloomrot is, it is V Rising. Gloomrot is the new expansion
Yes.
that came out for
Yep.
free for that
Really
game.
great expansion, man. Like honestly, from everything that I've seen and from what I've heard, V Rising is one of those games that like you really do need a couple of people playing with you. And I had a couple of people playing with me, and then they just stopped playing for various different reasons. One of them was Diablo 4 was coming out. Another one had some issues with his family and everything like that. So it pretty much it was just me. And you can play the game, you can play V Rising alone, like solo, but it is extremely difficult. Like it is hard. It is not an easy game.
Yeah.
So I got to like barely scratch the surface of of Gloomrot, but like they've added a whole entire new system for magic. They've rehauled all their magic, so like it's not necessarily like some of the magic is still in there from the original V Rising, but it does some of the magic also does different things, and it's obtained through different like going and killing different bosses and everything like that. But they've added in a new magic system. They've added in a new gem system that alters your magic even further, so it's even further customization with your builds. They've added in 2 new weapons. They added in a great sword, which is a huge damage, man, like huge damage. And then they added in dual pistols, which I haven't gotten a chance
That's
to
cool,
grab
though.
those, but
Demon
I've heard
Hunter
that they're really
style.
fun. Yeah, kind of. So then they added in. They've completely rehauled the entire map. Sorry for smacking my mic. They've completely
peaked.
rehauled the entire mic. They added in a new area, completely new area for the Gloomrod area. That's like it's almost like a Frankenstein like invention area. Like you've got a lot of like electricity, a lot of lightning strikes, a lot of ghouls, everything like that. One of the bigger things, they added on multiple different levels for your castles now. So instead of only being able to build on one plane, you can now stack. So you can
Is there
do
physics
like
to that?
there is
So,
not
like-
physics to that. No.
Oh, so like if you take
It's
the
not
base out, does it
yeah, no,
float?
it's not like those kinds of games like 7 Days to Die or anything like that. Like it's taking down a base like that is extremely hard. It's kind of it's more like Rust when it comes down to like
Right. I was
base
just curious,
base
like
rating. Yeah.
if it's gonna look
So
botched if like you take down the base and there's just a
it will.
floating
Yeah,
castle.
100% it will. Like
will.
if you take down walls, it'll just sit there and hover as long as
Huh.
one wall is
Okay.
still standing. But yeah,
wait
it's
next season for the physics update.
maybe, dude. Like you never know. We've got new information that just dropped today. There's been people that have been digging into the files, and they've found that there's going to be three more new weapons. There's going to be a rapier. There's going to be a dagger and a bow coming at some point. They've pulled up that information somehow through their techno wizardry.
How do you
And,
guys feel about data mining?
I don't mind it as long I don't pay attention to it too much just because I don't want to spoil it for myself. But like this kind of stuff where it's nothing, you know you could argue that it is going to spoil like some of the surprise, but like I like knowing that we're getting more content, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it
Yeah, but-
depends on what's being data mined and who's the one
sure.
like leaking it. Because if it's like leaked with malicious intent to
Yeah.
really like take down and
I
you know,
don't like when you have like the people from like Icy Veins that like go in and data mine like the next expansion's entire story,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then post it, right?
and going with malicious intent of actually spoiling it for people like that kind of stuff too. Not a fan, but I think
Yeah.
it can be a good thing used in moderation sometimes.
By the way,
I
thank
was
you
curious.
to Legacy
I-
Gaming for the footage.
Not the
Hey.
biggest fan of like that kind of info being taken out of the developers' hands. Like it's their stuff; they should be able
For
to
sure.
announce it when they're
Yeah.
ready. But I can
That too.
understand where it can be used to generate hype in a positive
Yeah.
way for a game
my
too.
my biggest thing, at least with V Rising, is that like so V Rising, I love V Rising. They've done a lot of great work. It's one of those games. It's kind of like Valheim. Like when it released, it was in a great state. It had a lot of content to it. everything like that. But the problem with V Rising is that it's been
It's just
almost
taken
a year and
too
a
long.
half between Gloomrot and the original release,
No way.
and we knew, and
Yeah.
we knew nothing about it. Like we knew nothing about Gloomrot until like a month and a half.
Hold
right.
on. There's no way. When did hold on?
V Rising released, I believe, in
2022.
2022. Yeah,
May 7th,
So-
exactly about a year
so
ago.
a year. Yeah,
May
there you go.
17th. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Damn. That didn't. I felt like it was so much sooner.
No, it's
than
been a
that.
year. Like I said,
I mean,
and it's
to be
been a year
fair,
of just silence.
it is an early
so-
access game. Like I get,
It is.
you know,
Yeah.
Right.
I get that, and it is.
I'm not-
I don't know how big
I'm-
Stunlock Studios is.
Yeah, they're an indie team. Like I think they have like 20 or 30 people.
I think this is their only project.
It is their only project. Yeah. But
Well, no, they did do Battle
it's a
Right
good one.
too.
Did they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what
It's-
they did.
it's
I was
a-
trying to think of that.
But Gloomrot's good, man. Like it's a good expansion. I'm really pleased with the amount of changes, and I can see why it took them a year, because like rehauling the entire magic system, rehauling the entire map, putting in an entire another section of the map, rehauling a bunch of stuff when it comes down to like when we first started playing the game, I think there was 12 bosses in the game. I think there's like 36 now.
Wow.
So
So
they
it
added
was
in-
a decent
it
size
was a
patch.
huge
Like that's
patch.
yeah,
And it's
so-
free. The patch
Completely
is
free. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. So
The only thing that they asked, or the only thing that they offered was and I personally purchased it because I wanted to support them, was a $10 pack that gave you some cosmetics to do your building stuff with. So
cool.
and again, it's also one of these games that has, it gives you the ability to do PvP. It gives you the ability
Sure.
to do servers for your friends. Like it really is. Again, it's a take on a genre
Oh.
that we don't see a lot.
and
Oh.
right here they added in new mythics. Like beforehand you had named weapons, but now you have like mythic weapons and epic weapons.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I think I mean, it is
It's
a
a-
great
it's
game.
a-
It
it's
really
a
is.
huge update, man. Like surprisingly for free, it's a bargain. Like 100%. Like it's a steal. I would definitely, if you're going to get it, go and pay the $10 for the pack, just to give them a little bit of a nudge and be like, hey, we want more of this.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So there you go. So that is Gloomrot. Cool. So moving on to the news. So at the beginning of the show, we talked about my obsession with spending a shit ton of money on Riot. And Riot decided to pay it forward by giving us a bunch of news to talk about. So if you are unfamiliar with what is going on, or if you're unfamiliar with Riot, Riot was owned by Tencent, and Riot was the creator of League of Legends, as well
Was,
as
if
I mean,
they
they-
still are.
they still are, but they're not the
Riot
same
also owns Sin's Butthole and Wallet.
Riot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
true.
have to
That's-
get written
it's accurate.
permission to take a shit.
he
yeah.
actually had to get the Riot emblem on his ass cheek.
Yeah.
It's true. Branded, not tattooed.
Hey,
Branded.
man, tramp stamps are coming back. So anyway, so Riot's has League of Legends. League of Legends created what's called the LCS and basically the League Championship Series. This is basically the World Series. It's like esports, the big thing for League. It has been popping off. It would from its inception, it had like 2 some odd million, I think, total viewers. And I'm talking about NA only, right? And then over the last couple of years, it has dwindled. In the last 7 years or 8 years, it went from 600,000 down to only 200,000. Huge number drops, like
Yeah,
huge number
huge.
drops, right? So all of this sparked this huge thing because Riot, and again, this is only in America, because overseas, and those countries, like esports are taken very seriously. Like it is treated with like there's regulations, the governments are involved. Like it's a whole fucking thing. Where here it's kind of, well, it's left up to whoever wants to do whatever. It's kind of basically the jungle. So this is innately caused problems. Well, to start, LCS is a North American league, and North American leagues have notoriously been shit when it comes to the EU teams or the LCK teams, or the Eastern teams. Like worlds in and worlds out, we get completely destroyed. Like, I don't know the last time that an NA team has actually won Worlds.
The only time that we've actually ever competed, like Cloud9 was basically carrying the North American division for the longest time.
For a while. Yeah.
And so, that coupled with
Stevens.
mismanagement of the teams basically led into a situation where, okay, cool, we're now going to stop bringing on American players, and we're basically going to farm out to Korean players, right? So you literally will have Cloud9 or TSM, or 100 Thieves that will have EU players and all these other players. So that caused a rift, right? And Riot never stepped in to fix it. Which, maybe they shouldn't. That's not their place to say, hey, if you're going to be an NA team, you have to have an NA roster. So
because that's the same with a lot of sports. Is like a lot of sports take people from other countries, like basketball, foot, soccer, everything like that. You've got people from Argentina playing on the American soccer team.
True, but
Right.
but the thing about, so I'll continue down this route because it is like, it's a long explanation to get to understand what is happening. Because when I first looked at it, I was like, what the fuck, man? None of this stuff matters. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, or whatever else. And most people, like, maybe some people are like, who gives a shit? But it really is a dynamic of like esports in this. So because of the shift and saying like, okay, create like these teams are just going to go get players from other places. Well, that created basically a LCSPA, which is basically the league, the LCS Player Association, essentially a player union, right? To go, okay, well, we're North American players, like, Riot, you need to step in and really kind of make rules and regulations that protect players, because we're kind of getting fucked over with certain things. And then on top of that, so Riot kind of stepped in and was like, all right, well, we're going to make every single team have a farm team, essentially, right? They had what's called NACL. So that is the North American Contender League, is what it stands for. And that is essentially your farm team for baseball. So your lower end players are supposed to be moved up into the big leagues, right? That never happened. So the company, and Riot never regulated it. So the teams were like, Riot basically said you have to have a farm team or an NACL team. And the teams were like, well, why the fuck are we doing this? We're just spending money and this is a waste. Because you also would have players that would basically just go into the NACL, make $70,000 a year playing league, never go anywhere, and that's it. And they were forced to be there. Teams were forced to have these teams because it was a thing that Riot mandated. So all of this came to a huge head because essentially the players were like, fuck it, we're leaving. Like, we're doing a strike. We are not going to play. Like, we're not going to play. And you need to change the rules for the NACL and for the LCS. Again, keep in mind, the LCS is the only one that's having this problem, right? The ones the overseas, the LCK, all of that kind of stuff, they're not having these issues. And I was hoping to see, does this have the demands? So I don't know if this has.
I think that's it right
demands
there.
of it.
Oh,
No, this doesn't have the demands of what they were looking for, but essentially they were asking for the NACL to basically go, hey, there needs to be better pay for the NACL. You need to allow, you need to make it so that the teams can't basically disband and fire the players.
Here,
if there's,
I've got the demands right here. So they wanted to institute Valorant style promotions and regulations between LCS and NACL. Allow the LCS orgs to partner with affiliates for cost sharing. Riot commits to revenue pool for player salaries of $300,000 per NCA or NACL team per year. Institute a 3/5 roster continually rule to provide players on released NACL rosters first priority in maintaining their slots in upcoming NACL seasons if a majority continue to compete together. And they wanted Riot to guarantee LCS minimum contracts for the following year for the 5 players who win the LCS summer finals each year.
yes. So a lot of rules, but basically what it is coming, like the TLDR on all of that is that they wanted Riot to step in and regulate this, instead of basically allowing the owners of these teams to regulate it, because the owners of the team are basically saying, fuck it. Like, we don't care. NACL is not worth our time. And these players are whatever. So this in turn caused a walkout because the players for these teams basically said, we're not gonna play. We're not gonna go to our LCS summer split, right? Which was supposed to happen this I think today. It was supposed to happen today. So their whole idea was like, cool, we're gonna do a walkout. We're not gonna play, and you're not gonna have a summer split. Riot, instead of saying we're gonna work with you on this, goes, okay, fine.
Right.
They go, you know what, teams? Here's what you're gonna do. Go find anybody with a fucking pulse and put them on stage. Any league player right now, Bill, me, this team, pre-patch podcast right now, could go to basically 100 Thieves and say, you give us $50,000, we'll go sit on that stage right now and go play fucking league. We will go
Let's
play
do it,
league.
bro. Let's do
we,
it.
We don't even
up,
have to
yeah.
be in person. We will go play league for you for the LCS summer split. And Riot will say, you have to say yes. You got, yes, do it. Put them on the stage because they want the summer split to happen.
They're
do it,
trying to see
bro.
my Echo plays.
Echo plays. We
Mhm.
got the fucking
The cat,
what's-
the cat,
the big old green boy. I forget Zach.
Zach?
Zach support. I mean ADC.
So then as that did not progress, and obviously the teams were like, fuck no, we're not going to just pay people just to sit there and play. Riot goes, okay, fine, we're just going to cancel the fucking thing. So
Yeah.
if a deal isn't made with the players, Riot's just going to say, fuck it, we don't care. They're going to cancel the LCS summer split. Long explanation to
Crazy.
a bigger deal. I don't know what your guys' I mean, we all play league here. What are your kind of thoughts on
Do we?
kind of what is happening? Well, okay, we have played
We haven't
league.
played league in
we have
months.
played league here.
This year.
I mean,
True.
I was following the LCS and like the actual like the big games, but I don't know, man.
I
give
haven't
a shit
followed the
less.
I
LCS
never-
since I'm a cutie pie
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah,
The
I
only
never
the only
really
real
followed it all
reason
too
why
much.
I watched them was to get the drops and because I kind of enjoyed watching some of the players. Like that,
Right.
like legitimately, I'm sorry, but that's legitimately the only reason I really watched.
I mean, I definitely feel for the players here, though.
Yeah, it
like,
sucks, man.
Yeah, you know, they're
But-
getting the
but
short
then-
end of the stick.
But then again, they can easily come up with other terms and make terms that
Right.
aren't as harsh. Like
Well,
But
I-
ultimately, they're putting the ball in Riot's court, and Riot can easily
Well,
choose
ball's-
to just not
ball's
accept
always
it.
in Riot's court. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, like it is like Riot. It's Riot's games. Riot's the one putting the
Yeah.
production together. Riot's the one
exactly.
that's fronting all of
that's-
this. It's but what I would say is like, and this is the bigger problem inside of esports here in the U.S. and why I don't think North American esports will ever take off until this stuff has changed. If you look at other countries, they treat it like an actual fucking sport. There are
Biggest sport.
regulations,
Mhm.
there are laws that are in place, there's things that are there to make it. Because realistically, in my world, and I think it was Asmongold or Tyler One had a really great take on this. It says, one, let these guys be let these guys be themselves. Like let them be who they are. Like there are very strict regulations that say like you can't be toxic. Like you can't be a toxic player. Like
Thanks, Double Lift.
Sure, exactly.
I
Right?
mean-
You can't be an asshole. Yeah, but I get what you mean. But like look at people
I
like
understand it,
Gronkowski.
yeah.
You look at people like if you look at the UFC, you look at guys like who's the
McGregor.
fucking McGregor, right? That man
McGregor,
sells
yeah.
fights because he's an asshole, right?
Yeah,
Like-
but the difference between that is that like in my opinion at least the reason why they're trying to quell the toxicity in their pro players is because they don't want the toxicity from their pro players to rub off on their normal players, which
Well,
is
it doesn't
already
matter.
happening. So
Well,
it's
it doesn't
already
matter.
happening.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's not
but
gonna
the-
make
the-
it any bit more of a difference.
But the difference between like a McGregor or like a UFC fight is that UFC isn't free to play. Like normal people can't just go in there and become a UFC fighter. Right
I
off the
mean, they
bat.
could.
They could, but it would take years and years of.
Have you
of-
never seen
I'll be-
Bum
I'll-
Brawl or
I'll be
whatever the
right
fuck it's called?
back.
Bum
I'm-
fights.
I'm going up.
You gonna go and be the new heavyweight champion there?
Yeah,
Ashcroft?
yeah, I am. You'll see. You'll see.
I don't know.
And then I'll be as
I-
toxic as the rest of them.
The other thing that they need to do, and I actually think this is a legitimate thing, is basically they should have like I think it's a draft system. I think they could implement stuff like they do like in the NFL and baseball
For
and
sure.
NBA, where there
Yeah.
are systems that say, hey, if you're going to come
Well-
up in the league, they also should open up the league
Well,
to allow more people. Like it is.
And one thing
thousands.
you gotta remember as well though is like even in the NFL and the like soccer and basketball and everything, they too have rules for people on the court being professional. Like it's
No,
not
absolutely.
it's not just
But
an
this
LCS
is
or
also
an,
outside of the game. Like they can't.
Yeah.
they have to withhold a thing. Like again, I'm not saying that those.
Well,
images don't
I'm pretty
exist,
sure
but,
I'm
like,
pretty sure that like football and stuff has that too.
they
Like
do.
they
Like
have to
you
they
can't
have to
get
act in a certain way.
you can't
or
get
else they
caught
get-
with
they
like
get fined.
blowing hookers. Like
Even
you
though they do on a regular basis.
right, but it's just it's I don't know. There's a lot to it, so it's gonna be interesting, right? Because this takes an entire division out of if they don't do the summer split, which means they can't do the MSI Open. If they can't do the MSI Open, they can't go to qualify for Worlds. If they can't qualify for
Yeah.
Worlds, they don't go.
Then what's
right?
the fucking
They don't
point?
go.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So what do you think? What do you think they're going to do? Or do you think they're going to cancel LCS entirely? Or?
I
I don't think it'll come to that.
I don't think that they'll
Yeah.
cancel LCS. I think that what's basically going to happen is that Riot's going to step in, and I think they're going to have to make some rules. And I think they should. I think they should take some of this out of the owners of these teams, as far as like just being able to have carte blanche say. They bring it back to themselves, and they say like you've got rules, less you can do whatever you want with your team, but but
I fucking think it would be hilarious if they had like the stand-ins, like the
scrubs,
the
the fucking scabs,
scrubs
the
that just
scabs.
like,
Yeah, man. Fucking
they just like none of the fucking LCS shows up, so they're just like, all right, koala bears over in the corner, you're fucking up, man.
right. Well, the other big issue that is also happening with this, which is kind of behind the scenes and not a lot of people are talking about, with the players that are going and getting signed to play here from other countries, they are getting work visas that didn't turn into permanent visas. And so the government is also going, hold on one second, like you are actively bringing these people over, and then you're having them sign a work visa, and then within 2 years it becomes a real, like, there's some other really weird stuff that's going on in the behind the scenes with that as well, that is causing some issues. So I don't know. I mean, I am one of those people who are like, in this world where you have an LCS that is supposed to be a North American team, I would love to see North American players. We'll never fucking win ever, but
But it's
like,
nice to see him.
I
Yeah,
think when it's
right.
like when I go in and you see an LCS team that's from North America, and the only shot we have is that we're hiring team, like everybody, like literally importing South Korean players to play on our team so that we could possibly get there. That's no longer a North American team. You're now just playing. You're having an LCK team plays an LCK team. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's anyway. That's the league news. It is kind of nuts
The
what's
funny
happening.
thing about all of this, and one thing I found interesting is that this guy's Toast. You guys are familiar with him?
Yeah.
He
Vaguely, yeah.
put up a small like tournament style match with some of the old LCS pros at the same time that the summer split was supposed to happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Did it do
Yeah, he
well?
got Skara, Cutie Pie, Shifter, Dyrus, and Voyboy on one team, and then his esports team on the other, and they had a
little
a
skirmish.
3-round like a three best of 3 go.
What's nuts is that
So-
that Riot has this with Valorant. They have it laid out with Valorant extremely well. Like, I don't know. I guess they just don't talk to one another. But anyway,
Yeah. I wonder where we'll see this go. I don't know if like you think it'll just fizzle out or we'll really
Nah,
see
they're-
something come of it.
Riot will
No.
buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riot will buckle.
Either Riot will buckle, or again, like we said, Riot will just be like, okay, well, if you're not going to play, we'll just ship in 6 teams that we have
Yeah.
in the back channel.
So
So
there you
They
go.
probably already have them lined up too.
more than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if they have again, like the
Because I mean, I'm sure they have thought that something like this could happen.
Well,
I mean,
it's not just
money.
it's not just that they it's not just
Well, yeah.
they thought it was going to happen. It's like in any sport, you're going to have a bench team. You're going to have a backup team, one
Right.
way or
Yeah.
another, or at least players that can take over for it. So
So now's our shot, boys. We can become a professional.
let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
PP for the win. PP for the win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So can I have a small tangent moment?
Yeah.
Have at it.
So I keep Twitter up while we're doing the podcast just in case anything like right hot off the press happens. And I saw Phil Spencer was trending. Apparently, it's due to Redfall. Shocker,
boy.
shocker. A new article came out
Saw
from
something about
Arcane
this.
Studios devs saying that they were hoping that Xbox
That
would
Xbox would
cancel
cancel it. Yeah.
Redfall because I guess ZeniMax Studios kind of was forcing their hand into making it a live service game
Yeah.
instead of a single player, which is what they had originally intended for the game, and Xbox would not cancel it.
I mean, I don't really think that's Xbox's.
It's not Xbox's plates. It's ZeniMax.
Xbox,
and
yeah.
well,
It's
mainly
it's,
ZeniMax, but
it's Bethesda. Yeah, it's Bethesda that should be taking care of that. Not. I mean, granted, Xbox can
I mean,
advise and be like,
Xbox
"Hey,
should have
that's a
bigger
shit
control.
game." Like
Xbox should have been well aware, or
Yeah,
at least
100%.
delayed it. But
100%.
I just found it interesting that Phil Spencer is trending as if he has any control.
Well, and
over-
I'm curious. I'm curious if that's why he came out and was just like, "Yeah, we fucked up." Like he was just like, "Yeah, I mean, we probably should have canceled it." But like,
Well, probably, and honestly,
as
good on him for it.
Microsoft, they didn't want to have a hand in it. Like they, from the beginning of Bethesda coming over there, they basically told Bethesda, "Hey, we're here for an advisement. Like you guys do whatever you got to do." You know.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the way that Phil probably looked at it, and this is a sign of a good leader, right? He basically comes in, he's going to take the brunt, right? And part of it is his fault or their fault. Like I don't say it's Phil's fault, it's their fault, it's Microsoft's fault to not have a heavier hand in it. He takes the brunt of it, but I guarantee behind closed doors, he is reaming the shit out of ZeniMax and Bethesda.
I would
and,
hope
and
so.
going,
Oh yeah.
what the fuck, guys? Like this is, you should not rely on us to cancel this fucking game. You should
Yeah.
make a better fucking game. Like
Yeah.
you should be, be more.
They should have made that judgment call to delay it.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Either
Yeah.
delay it or don't push it down a live service route. Like if it was originally designed to be a
Oh.
single player game,
I don't even know what it was originally designed to be.
Well, according to that article right there, the original idea for that game was a single player.
Was a single player. Jesus. Yeah.
So-
They should have made that judgment call to delay or cancel,
Cancel, yeah.
something.
So
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
So yeah, so that's that. On the well, it's the news of developers and them making stupid decisions and things like that. Let's talk about Blizzard and Diablo 4
Yay.
and their hardcore race to 1,000. This is 100. That's not right.
It's 1,000. Yeah.
It's supposed to be 1,000. Don't know
It's
why.
supposed to be
So,
1,000. Yeah, I don't know why they say
this is
100.
Destructoid. So good job there. So anyway, if you're unfamiliar with what this is, Blizzard came out with a marketing promotion that said, "Hey, we are going to do a race for the first people, the 1,000 people that get to 100. That's where they got 100. Race to 100, the first 1,000 people." Okay, Destructoid, we apologize. You were right. Your title's right.
I mean, no, that's
poorly-
100%.
it's poorly
Yeah,
written
that's
wrong.
100% destructive. Like they should have said race to 100 the first 1,000.
Yeah, but anyway, so the first 1,000 people to get to 100 in hardcore get their names on Lilith's breasts. No, it's not just that. It's all like you get to sign Lilith's.
No,
statue.
that's the first 10.
And
That's
to
the
be
first 10 that go
fair,
on our titties.
Sin chose to sign the left one. I don't know if that has any.
Yeah. Anyway,
significance, but-
I'm more
but
of
no,
a righty,
it is
so, you know.
you get to sign somewhere on Lilith, which is weird in its own right. I just want to say that like that is a very weird thing to be like.
Oh, wait.
'cause it's not from
You
there's
weren't like kidding. Like
no.
it's
you
actually
sign.
on
It's a
Lilith.
Lilith. Like you sign.
It's not on
Lilith.
Lilith. It's on the plaque on the Lilith statue. It's not.
Oh, that's
actually
what I
Bro,
thought.
on the
it's
Lilith.
still fucking weird. Like I don't. Like, I
Why?
get,
How is that
I don't
weird?
know. I
if
just
it's on
because I
a
don't think-
plaque of a statue, that I mean that's
I
not
don't know,
weird.
man. I just think it's weird. I think this whole entire marketing thing is fucking weird. Like again, we're talking about a statue that you're never gonna see, you're never gonna hold, you're never gonna touch, you're never nothing. Like this is not something that you get to take home. Who knows? Like,
Oh, it's not in game.
No, it's an actual physical.
It's an actual
actual
physical thing.
statue that they'll probably show
Oh.
off
At
in
BlizzCon.
BlizzCon this
Yeah,
year, and it'll
probably.
probably be
Then
just
it will
like the
never be
fucking
shown
giant.
again.
No, it'll probably be just like the giant statue that they have of Thrall outside of their main campus. It'll probably be something they put on.
Or it's
That's
going to be
kinda
in Bobby
cool, but I
Kotick's
thought it'd be
pool.
cool if it was like in game. You know how like some games do like tributes and whatnot.
It
like-
would be cool.
No, that would make sense.
I
That
personally
would
like
make- that would
an
make more
actual
sense.
leaderboard would be
my
great.
original
but-
idea when I heard this. I'm like, oh, sweet, okay, you get your name like permanently, in game, like sweet, okay, but no, that's
No,
different.
that would make more sense.
right.
So this like basically cost or started a whole fucking shitstorm. And you know, the podcast is on two different sides. Well, okay, I'm on one side, which is typical. I'm on one side, and the podcast and the rest of the guys are kind of on the other. But essentially, the race was the first 1,000 people to get to 100 in hardcore. Get their name on the statue. Then the issue that came up was that, well, this is not fair because people that pay the extra money to get early access can start playing before normal players can, right? Because they didn't start it on the 6th, they started
that was after
on the 1st.
That was after.
Well, I'm saying that's one of them. Let me get
Yeah.
to both. That was one of the complaints that people have. The other complaint was that, oh, well, this isn't fair because you gave certain streamers reviewer access to this game 9 days early, so they have all of the advantages to be able to know exactly what to do and all of this kind of stuff, right? And so they went to Twitter. I'm going to pause there and get your guys' opinions on this advantage and where they're at and what you guys think about this, because we talked about it in length in the discussion, but not on the show.
Like my opinion was, and I think I was the first one, maybe Bill was, I can't remember who was the first one that kind of pointed out, was like, yeah, I mean, that is an unfair advantage. If you have reviewers that are they're going to be in the race. Like, granted, not all of the reviewers that had review copies are going to do the hardcore race, right? Like, I think there's probably at most like 6 that were guaranteed to do it right off the bat, right? But 100% having 9 days of early access where it's just you, like it's just you and this select few like this select number of people that have access to it. You're learning the best ways to level, the best builds to level, the quickest ways to get through certain areas, the best the best mobs, the best monsters, the best bosses to take down for experience, everything like that. Just you're inundating yourself with enough knowledge to give you, in my opinion, an unfair advantage in a race like that. And my point was, like, this would almost be like a rate, like a people giving a certain amount of people, like 6 or 7 people that are going on like a race, like a Gran Turismo race, right? The ability to have a 9-hour head start or a 9-day head start on the race to be able to figure out the turns, to figure out where they can dip into, where they can accelerate out of, where's the best location for them to to pass people, everything like that. That's essentially like giving them 9 days of access before everybody else, and then having a contest or having a race that people can win, right? Like that, they have an unfair advantage at that point, 100%. So that was my opinion. And then the more that I read into it, I was like, okay, because I was watching a Zizarin video, and he kind of brought up a good point where it was like, Path of Exile. Zizarin is a content creator for Path of Exile that does a lot of like hardcore runs and everything like that for Path of Exile as well. The way that he kind of put it out was like, when it comes to Path of Exiles, the way that Path of Exile handles these types of things, they give you the option before you get access to these test builds, right? Like they basically say, hey, we're going to give you access to these test builds, but if you take this access and you get the early access into these test builds, and you kind of are able to learn all this content and learn all this information, you are completely exempt. You cannot participate in any world first races for this content.
That's one thing that I kind of was thinking they should have done is give a way for people to, if they have early access, is to opt out of the early access so they can participate, or vice versa, like opt into, not participating and being exempt.
That kind of opened my eyes, where I was like, oh, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like this, and honestly, from the start, I've been under the camp, even before it started spreading, that people were saying that, maybe they should just wait until season 1 to do this race. I've been like, from the minute that the race to 100 started, I was like, why the fuck are we doing this right now? Why is this not being done after season 1?
I do see the argument being like, it does generate a good amount of hype for
it generates money.
It generates pre-orders. Exactly.
So like, I can see why they're doing it, but and not being logical, like you said, and just wait till season 1.
So that's my opinion. And sorry I took it a little bit longer, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it was like, I can see it kind of both ways, where it's like, yeah, it's an unfair advantage. But on top of that, these guys that took that information didn't know that they were going to have a race for 100. Like, I guarantee you that Blizzard never told any of these reviewers that they were going to have a race for 100 until they announced it.
Well, even if they
Yeah.
even if they did, they were the problem was with that. It was never said that they were not going to be able to participate.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
so, Bill, I don't know if you, because I know we were talking about this too, like in the note. I don't know if you have anything to put in, like as far as points.
Nah, the only thing that I want to add is if you're going to make an event for your community, make it so that as much of your community can participate at an even level as possible.
Very
Obviously,
true. Yep.
Yeah.
you're the like. I think I compared it to speedrunning whenever we were talking about it in the chat, and it's very similar to what you said with the Forza analogy. Routing and all that stuff is everything, and anybody that does have like even one extra run through the game is going to have a little bit more of an edge comparable.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some people that are just on a next level when it comes to this kind of stuff, and those are going to rise to the top as they should. But I feel like if you're going to do a community event like this, even if it doesn't mean a whole lot, you should still try to make it as fair and balanced as possible for that community. It
For
just
sure.
seems like
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
It's not
Like-
that big of a deal, but it's kind of indicative of Blizzard's mindset overall.
I think it's a bigger deal that they then in turn turned around and said that, oh, if you did stream this, then here's the answer to it. Basically, and Rod Ferguson really had some really bad takes here, right? Like anytime that you're gonna be a smart ass is probably not gonna work for you.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, we're gonna delete your characters. And then someone says,
honestly, like, and sorry to interrupt you. Honestly, like, I love the Diablo 4 team. They've been a great they've been a great development team, but like they have had bluster after bluster after bluster. Like Rob Ferguson has put his fucking foot in his mouth multiple times. I can't remember what the other dude's name is, but
Joseph
the one that keeps giving,
Peresco or something
yeah,
like that.
the one that keeps giving out false information that continuously has to go back and be like, hey, I fucked up. Sorry, I didn't really mean that I said that.
Right. But then he was like, well, how does deleting their progress not make them start from the same time as everybody else and gives them an unfair advantage? And then what basically happened was Blizzard did what I don't think they should have done, which they should have just stuck to their guns and said, fuck it, we don't care. Like, because it's Blizzard and they know
and
fuck it, they don't care.
Again, to answer that specific information, how does deleting their progress and making them start out at the same time as everybody else?
They can't fucking delete their brain.
That's the answer
Yeah.
to that is they still have that information. They still have 9 days worth of head
Knowledge.
start.
So
Yeah.
so what they did was basically they said, we're going to make it so that the reviewers can no longer participate. Like there's no, like you don't get an option. So I'm sure like that obviously, that caused some problems. So here's the it's not even devil's advocate. Here's the side that I'm on, right? I agree 100% with 99.9% of everything that you guys are saying. They should have done it season 1. That would make more fucking sense, right? You try to make it as fair and balanced as you possibly can. But what I will say, and my only argument point is, yes, these streamers, creators had an advantage because of their job. They earned their right to get to that point. And what happens, and I even disagree with the way that PoE does it, because you are then taking someone whose career is literally making content and saying, hey, I either can participate in the world race, which again is your choice, right? You don't have to participate in the world race. There's nothing there, but that's content that I have to choose to either not do that content or not do the content that's going to get me a lot of views and is my job. So I don't think that it's fair to go to a streamer before or after the fact and say, because you've done well in what you've become and what you've done with your job and you become popular and become well known, you don't get to participate, or you have an unfair advantage. Like the scenario that you talked about with like a Forza race or an actual race, that happens all the time. Like that is indicative of competitive events as a whole. When you're talking about like a race or whatever, if a racer wants to go to that track, there's nothing that's stopping them from going to that track and doing that. And like NASCAR is not going to step them in. Right.
If a racer has the ability to do that, then 100%. If all the racers had the ability to get early access, 9 days early access, if everybody had the ability to get 9 days early access to the full game, not even like a
you're right.
tense down version.
Plus, this is brand new. This ain't an existing track.
Right. I'm not
Like-
what I'm saying. I'm not denying that they have an advantage. What I'm saying is that I don't think that
But
it's fair
you
to
are
fault
saying that
a
it's not
company.
fair. It's it
No,
100% isn't fair to fault it, but it is within their right to be like, hey, they bring up a good point. You have an unfair advantage, regardless of how you obtained that unfair advantage. If we're going to try and do this in a above the board, above the belt, whatever you want to call it, way, everybody needs to have the same advantage.
So-
And I still don't think that they still have the. And again, it goes into that same thing that I've been saying. They should have started this on the first
Right,
season.
they
There
should have
is
started season
absolutely
1.
fucking no reason why this should be a thing
100%.
this
But,
early.
but
Other than
why?
to sell more copies of Diablo.
Of
Well,
course.
that's the only
Yeah,
reason why it is.
that's
yeah.
it.
But also too, like, so then every streamer should not be allowed to play this game, like, or should not be allowed to race, because streamers in general that are full time have an unfair advantage that's their job, and they get to play way more than what I do.
Well,
So
they should again. I just feel like they should just have the ability to choose to opt in or not. Like
Yeah,
give
I'm
them
not
that
talking-
choice. Either
I'm not
either
even
way,
talking about-
they're
I'm talking. I'm saying
you
any.
talking
I'm
about?
talking any streamer that is a full time streamer, not the ones that get review codes. I'm saying any full time streamer should not have the right to be able to compete in this because it's an unfair advantage. because
Did
they're-
every streamer have the ability to play 9 days early?
I'm
No.
not talking about 9 days. I'm saying take 9 days out of it. I'm saying just in general if we're
I mean,
talking
every
about a
person
fair
that
to
plays
fair.
games
But
has
But that's the
the
point.
option to
Taking
take
taking
days
the
off and
taking
learn
the
if they
9
wanted
days
to.
out of it, taking the 9
Do
days
they?
out of it takes away the entire argument, because the only
Yeah.
argument was the fact that they had 9 days early access to the entire game. Entire game.
Right, but it's still the argument became is that it's an advantage to them. Like, it's an advantage because they knew
It is an
they
advantage.
knew that. Right. What I'm
Yes.
saying is, again, I'm not talking about the 9-day advantage. I'm saying take that away. Right. We all start at the same place. The same argument could be said to say, hey, well, guess what? Everybody had
No.
like, I don't have the ability to take off 5
No,
weeks
because
or to
you
do,
you
to play
you
the game.
100% have the ability. If you wanted to take off 5 days, you could quit your job and completely
You're
play
right.
the
I
game
can
for
quit,
5
I can
days.
quit my job.
You
So-
have, but that's what I'm trying to say.
That's
You
just
have
that's
the
just
option.
life at that point.
You
man.
have the option to do that, Sin. You don't have the option to go to Blizzard and say, "Hey, I'm Joe Schmo. I want to
Give
get
me
into the
9
9
days
days
of
early
early
access."
We're taking
No,
this
but
too
how-
far now.
how-
Like,
how
yeah,
far-
of course,
how far
everyone's
do you-
got to live a life and can't devote their entire time into
Right,
this
but that's
race.
but that's these people, like that's it. It circles back to the point I'm trying to make, that this is their job. Like, this is their job. This is
100%.
these
Yeah, it is their
creators'
job.
jobs. So
And
why
they
should
got
them-
9 days of early access. They shouldn't be allowed to fucking participate in
right,
a
the
game
only
in a
argument
race
here is the 9
for 9 days early access.
Like,
I-
good for
I
them that this
disagree.
is their job and they can make money off of this.
Well, you can
I mean, right,
disagree all you want
that's
to,
all
and
I'm
we've already said that we've already seen that
yeah,
you
but I
disagree
don't
that
think
it's an
that's
advantage.
the,
But it is literally
argument
the
here, man.
definition of an advantage.
I've never said it wasn't an advantage.
Yes, you did.
I'm not saying in this that it's not an advantage. I'm saying that I don't think that it's fair at all. That basically, my whole thing, Blizzard should have come out and said, we're doing a race to yes, they should have done it season 1. That's the easiest.
They
fucking
should have done it
fix.
season
we
1.
know that.
That
That's
is the
right.
fix.
Like, that's the
that
fix.
is
They
what they
chose not
should have
to.
What-
done.
They
What did
chose.
they end up doing? What was the
No,
final like?
they basically
they're
said
all-
They're still doing 100. They just
Yeah,
banned
they started
anybody
doing
that had
100.
9-day early access. From
Right.
okay,
participating.
and they didn't give a choice.
there is no
They
choice.
were not given a choice. Yes.
Gotcha.
All of this could
I
have been
wanted to-
sorted out if Blizzard had been more transparent and more communicative.
Blizzard with transparency.
before any of
That's
this
not
stuff.
gonna happen.
Because you know how long that they've probably planned on this
Oh,
event being a
100%.
thing.
They've probably
They
known
could
about
have
this.
announced it a few months ago.
They've
and
probably known about
given
this race
people
since the
all
first
the
beta.
time and effort to,
Yeah.
like all the ability to think about what they want to do with it.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
I completely agree. Yeah.
I'm
No,
just saying.
they,
that-
but moving into the secondary portion of it, like, I still think that it's an unfair advantage, and that anybody that purchased at this point, anybody that purchased early access, the 4-day early access, should not be able to
why?
do that race either, because that is still an advantage. 100%. You get 4 days worth of early access. Granted, I will say this: they have the option to pay the extra $20 if they want to. At
Yeah,
least.
that's still like
I'm okay
it's
with the
still an
early
advantage.
access
Yeah,
people.
they-
that
they're-
they
that's
not
the only
do it.
that's the only like saving grace for me, is like, at least at this point
They have
you
the
have
choice.
the
and
option,
They have the
you have the
ability.
choice to pay $20 to
Yeah.
get early access into this if you want to. You cannot go over to Blizzard. Oh, I mean, maybe you could if you give them enough money,
Ye-
but yeah,
you-
you could be like, "Hey, Bobby, if I give
you-
you $9,000, can I get 9 days worth of early access?"
I mean, you could.
I don't think they
guys are
can argue and bitch about buying into it though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at least they have that option.
I'm just saying that
I think the
Bl-
real reason Senzup says because the podcast is preventing him from being able to fairly
true.
I think it
compete.
is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
And-
even
and
playing
you
a
know
hardcore
what?
character. I'm just saying that what I don't like is I do not like things that are this idea that we all have to have like an even playing field when it comes to every little fucking thing, especially when we're talking about video game shit, and especially when we're talking about something like this.
For
Like we're
sports
talking
and competition,
it's
I think
not-
it's
it's
a little
not-
bit different.
It's not just
but
a
this
video
isn't
game.
this
Yeah,
isn't
it's a
sport.
competition.
This is not even that.
It
like,
It's
is
a competition.
though.
I holy shit! I said it's not even a sport. Like the
Well,
the
we're not talking.
competition
I'm
side of
saying
it,
it's a competition.
I
I'm
know
not
that.
talking
I'm-
about sports.
what
I
I'm
brought up sports.
Yeah.
like what
I'm
saying
just
is that
using sports as an easy, like, this
I
is the
get it.
same as what this, you know.
But I like at the end, and here's really the end all be all. And I told Enigma I was going to do this. I want to go and find out like how many of these people that would have been, because I guarantee they're still going to race. Like they still want
They
world
will,
first.
yeah.
I want to see how many of these streamers that were there. Let's say how many you think it was? Maybe 100, maybe 50 at most that got access into this. I think
I think we have these. I think it was like 90
yeah,
streamers that had
it's-
early access.
I
or
want to.
something along
I'm
those lines.
going. I want it just for my own thing. I want to see how many of those streamers, and I'll say that maybe
Well, again,
a third of them are not going to go anymore
Yeah.
because they're not going to race because of what's the
We've-
point.
Well,
are
we've
gonna be
already
there.
you know, I already mentioned that. Granted, I don't think that there was that many people that were even going to participate. Like a lot of the streamers that had early access were streamers like Asmongold, right? He's not going to do a fucking hardcore fucking run. Like he
Right.
might for fun, but he's not going to do it like a full out sweat hardcore run. But people like Maxroll, people like Zizarin, people like Riker, you know, they would have done the hardcore run 100%, and I guarantee you that they would have been on that statue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
but
I'm
but
sure.
then again, I think it's less a case of like how many of them actually would have done the race, and more a case of it's the principle behind it.
Yeah,
right?
I get it, and I agree. But I think the whole thing that Blizzard should have just been like, fuck it, we don't care. We don't fucking like, we don't fuck you guys are pissed off. We don't fucking care. We're not changing it. I think they like by flip flopping and going backward. I think it just made him look like
it would have just
assholes
pissed
even
off
more.
people more. But I
Like,
guarantee you
just-
that they would have still sold the exact same amount.
Yeah, I think you just say
Yeah.
fuck it, we don't care. Like we don't give a
The-
shit.
But again, I just want to reiterate, like the easy way to fix this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
push it back to
We-
season one.
We made multiple points on the easy way for this to have gone better. It was season one, just do it
Just
then,
put- Just push it back to
or-
season one, man.
yeah, or announce it earlier. Like I think
Yeah.
Bill, you or somebody said that. Yeah,
so
just
let's talk about
Blizzard
other
doing Blizzard things.
other companies that completely have just fucked up and screwed the pooch in more ways than one. And I do feel kind of bad about Daedalic Entertainment with this. Like
I don't.
I don't know, man. I don't think that they realized. Maybe they. I don't know.
Wait, you can't tell me that they didn't realize what they were releasing.
I'm not saying
that
they didn't realize what they
game-
were releasing. I'm saying that I don't think that they thought that the game was what they were playing was as like not fun and
There's
not
no way.
good.
There
like,
is no way.
I don't know, man. Like
There is no goddamn way that you as a developer load up this game. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, people that are not watching, we're talking about Where the Rings Golem, the 2023's best game to release so far.
I mean, I
Can't
will
tell
say there are
the
some
sarcasm in my
developers.
voice.
There are some developers that are kind of out of touch with what the consumer and what
I
the
don't know,
consumer
man.
finds fun. But that's few and varied. You know,
Like the consumer,
this
maybe
is
I can
drastic.
understand.
this
Yeah,
is drastic.
the consumer, maybe I can understand them being like, yeah, we didn't know that the consumer wouldn't like it. You know, we were going
Yeah.
for like a quirky, you know, haha, it's Golem, he's a fucking weirdo, you know, that kind of situation, right? But there's no way that the developers
I'm
released
just-
this game.
I-
And did you guys see the portion where they talk about breeder?
No.
The dude's like, Golem breeding now. That was an actual line in the game,
What?
dude.
interesting.
Yeah, better dialogue than Forspoken.
I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? You cannot tell me that this game went through Q&A and some Q&A were like, the fuck are you guys doing right now, man?
Bro, Bill, I apologize, man. I want the day that where Forspoken will not be a punching bag because I don't think that it deserves all the fucking hate.
I
that it
think
gets.
Forspoken
Oh
is
shit!
like
I did have a
like
game. I played the DLC to Forspoken. That's what I
I-
should have brought up.
I think
completely forgot.
Forspoken is a golden god in comparison to this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm-
A
I'm-
golden
I'm not
god,
saying this game
bro.
is great. I'm not saying this
I
game
have
is
seen
fucking
quite a
great.
few people of recent showing that Thanos meme with Forspoken in the foreground, saying, "Perhaps I judged you too harshly."
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe, man. Yeah.
I'm just saying that
It's not a great game, but it's significantly better than some of the
I mean, it's
stuff
just like
they've gotten.
Some of the stuff that's released recently.
it's just like when every game comes out now, for whatever reason,
I know.
Forspoken is the fucking
So-
metric that we hold
Because it was
these
the
games
first.
to.
It was the first of the year.
It was the first of the
Yeah.
year for sure.
Came out
It
So-
set a
with
low bar, and now it's a competition to go lower. It's like
Yeah. So the-
Limbo for
the
shit
thing that-
games.
So the thing we're talking about is Golem released recently. Lord of the Rings Golem released recently. It's like I think it's the first. Is it the first Lord of the Rings game in a while? I think it is.
in a while.
In
Like,
a long while.
yeah, I think there was a mobile
wanna
game.
say.
That was it.
I think there was like a Lego game in there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Sure, Lego made. Yeah,
What-
Lego made
Whatever.
a game, but
It's the first Lord of the Rings franchise in quite a while, right? And there was a lot of people that were really excited for it because Golem, say what you want about it. Golem's a
Big
beloved
character.
character.
He's
He's a very beloved character in the franchise. He's a very
Not
well-known
to make
character
a
in the
fucking
franchise.
video game about.
I mean, in
You could have
theory-
done so
in
many other
theory, it
people.
In
could've been a-
theory,
it could've been an
it could
interesting
have been it could have been a fun game. It could have been
Yeah.
interesting.
How?
Was not executed well.
Hold on.
Well, have
How-
you read like the lore of Golem?
No, but I am saying.
Okay, so
I
you
want.
have no idea what we're talking.
I'm
Golem
saying,
has a.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that out of the fucking whole entire, like, because I guarantee that I am just as much of one of the, if not a majority, in the fact that I don't know everything there is to know about Golem, right? And I would say that most people that play these video games don't know everything there is to know about Golem, though they're
I
a fan
don't
of
know
Lord of the
about that.
Rings, right? But okay, we'll agree to disagree. I'm just saying that out of all,
He is like a top 5 most important characters. In
Not
the
saying he's not important.
lore.
He's one of the most integral characters. In
not
fact,
saying
in the
he's not
entire story.
important. I'm not denying his importance inside of the fucking Lord of the Ring franchise. I'm just saying you literally have so many other characters that you could have chosen. Legolas, fucking Aragorn, fucking
Yeah, but they've done
You
shit
Shall
about
Not
those.
Pass. Like
Again,
Okay,
they've
they
not
again,
had a-
haven't,
they've not
okay,
had a
but they
dedicated
haven't
game.
focused. They haven't dedicated. Yeah, but
Right, they've not had
I
a
think that what
dedicated
they were
game to that.
going for is exactly what Enigma was saying. Is that kind of quirky, fun character? Like, boom, we have a,
Well,
a
it's-
full game devoted to Golem. You
To
know, like,
Gollum.
and
Well, it's not even that yet. Gollum.
That's
Gollum.
It's not even really that. It's that Gollum is a very like he's known. He's a very intricate character, right? But like nothing is really deep dived into his lore other than in the books, right? We've never seen any movies about him. We've never really seen like he's had integral parts in the movies, but we've never learned of his backstory in anything other than just the books, essentially. Right?
Yeah, I think
So,
they
like,
should have
that
kept it
was-
to a movie.
Well, that was the whole idea behind this, was to be like, okay, we're going to be kind of deep diving into Gollum's backstory, which he has a very intricate backstory. Again, Smeagol, if you look into it, he's a very interesting character. But they did not hit that story at all. In
So
this
is
game.
Dobby the house elf. Should we fucking make a video game about him
yes, oh, I
yeah,
loved.
I mean, I would be dope with that. I'd be down with
too?
that.
See that statement right there? That was so
and to-
stupid.
and to
It
be
froze
fair,
him.
It froze him.
Comparing Dobby to Smeagol is under.
I know. I'm fucking doing a low
Stating.
blow for that one. I'm just.
Oh
Okay.
my god, Scruffy!
I know
that,
I-
that just
I-
like broke it, man.
Yeah, that's how much.
I think they dropped the ball because they didn't have a Gollum's fishing game. I think this would have been the perfect
True. Accurate.
example for them to do a fish catch and bash simulator.
Accurate.
I just think that
Yeah.
they could have picked they could have picked a way bigger, like
They could've.
like more known and more intricate
could've.
character that was like, why am I blanking on the fucking name of Gandalf? Like, holy shit,
Yeah,
man,
they
do
could've.
Gandalf, do Lord of the Rings
One
Gandalf.
hundred percent. They could have
Like-
they could have done a more like mainline character, but I think that was what they were going for. Was they wanted to feature one of the still a very important character in the actual franchise, still a very important character in the actual story,
Yeah,
but very unknown, very very heavily unknown.
I just think that if you're good, like I think make a movie, great.
So
right? You want to do a
the
movie about it, great.
original thing was like this game was supposed to be like a almost like an Assassin's Creed, where it was like you were supposed to be like stealth. You were supposed to be going through these backstories with like moving into Schmeagol or Gollum, whatever you want to call him. His entire thing is like he's always there. Like no matter what is going on in the Lord of the Rings in the Middle Realms, right? He's always there. He's always in the background, watching, participating. He knows everything. He sees everything, right? He's no matter what you do inside of that franchise, Gollum is probably there.
I'm back.
In a part. You are back.
Hello.
You're back.
Okay. What? Sorry.
So
about
what about Dobby? What about Dobby?
Yeah,
You want to try
what
that
about-
again?
Yeah.
I love Dobby. That's all I said. And then I just everyone went quiet.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know, man.
is that a bad thing?
the gameplay in this one is rough. The graphics are rough. The dialogue is rough. I think that a lot of the game design choices that they went with were just not
I'm
the best.
Telling
I
you
don't
right
know
now.
who the fuck was who the fuck's idea it was to have a bird mini game, like a bird breeding mini game, but that was fucking weird.
I'm telling
Also,
you,
like the
they
gameplay
thought-
wise, it's like all stealth, and there's even some characters you can't like take
Well,
down.
it's
Like
all
you can only
stealth,
take
but
down a
it's
few.
it's all stealth, but it's shitty. It's like
It's shitty stealth, and you can only kill like a select number of character like
If
enemies.
the character has a helmet, you can't execute them.
can't
I
execute,
played
yeah.
this game and saw and talked to this game at PAX East with the developers, and I'm telling you right now, they thought that the game that they were putting out was a perfect, like an exact, like I guess
That's
understanding of what they
wild.
wanted Gollum to be and what they saw as Gollum. That's why I'm
Yeah,
saying,
what-
like I
what
think that they were out
wanted
of
Gollum
touch.
to be.
Well, yeah, they're the developer. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
wants to do that. Like that's their representation. It's artistic. I just think that this game, like that's the only thing where I'm like, it's not that I think the game is like if this game would have come out fucking 15 years ago, it would have probably been a fucking success. Everybody went like talking about how great it is and whatever else.
I don't
Because
know about that.
I'm telling you, man, like it is
I
a
don't know about
15-year-old
that, bro.
game. Like
I
I
can
mean, I'll
kind
agree
of
with you there.
agree to that.
I'll,
yeah,
I'll
like,
agree with you there that it is a 15-year-old game, but I don't think it would have been a 15-year-old game success.
I mean, I think it would have been.
Bro,
I don't think it would
Prototype
have
was a
blew
fucking
games out of the
success.
water.
Prototype was a good
underrated,
game,
though.
bro.
It's a good game.
Prototype story develop like there's stuff like that. Like Prototype
Prototype was
2
great, man.
I'm not
Gameplay was
knocking.
great.
I'm not knocking
Okay.
Prototype. I'm saying that if you look back at that versus or like True Crimes LA or whatever else, like
True
those
Crimes
games.
in LA was great too, bro. What are you fucking talking about?
Again, if you play them today, it's not going to be anywhere like that, right? So like you take
Well, yeah,
that and put this game
100%.
15 years ago, it would have probably done well. Like
So
that's all I'm
what I
saying.
will say is that makes sense because 15 years ago they weren't pushing hella like shit and
Hella.
and what
Hella.
what yeah what do you what's wrong?
Hell,
Okay?
hell is a hell is a character in MCU.
Oh god.
They weren't pushing all this stuff into games, giving the players like endless things to do. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, Golem I don't think pushed enough into this game.
I think Gollum was just the wrong choice of character.
I really want to spend a lot of time on this. Like it
We
was a
don't have
terrible
to.
game, man. Yeah, it was just bad. It was bad.
I
Just
I will say
don't-
though, I would
don't
have
pay
liked
money
to
for it.
see. I would have liked to see it do good though. It would have been, I think.
The
I
the
still
only
think it
reason
would've been a
why
fun
I
idea.
would have wanted to see this do well is because the Lord of the Rings franchise has had just
It's
blow
starved.
after blow after blow
Well,
recently.
hey, Amazon.
the Amazon TV show was not received
No.
well at all. In
The
fact, it
Magic
was-
the Gathering card set is not being received well at
Yeah.
all.
It's just the Lord of the Rings franchise right now is in a
Well, they're
rough
just
spot.
yeah, and all that's coming out for Lord of the Rings stuff is just like these
And
people trying to milk it for what it is, for just the name.
Hey man, the Lord of the Rings gotcha mobile game, card game's great. Just
Okay, well,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, well.
I'm not gonna lie, my
Are we
dog,
just gonna start calling Sin Brendan Fraser? At
bro,
this
my
point?
dog just
I think so,
scared
man.
the
Yeah.
fucking shit out of
Because
me.
he's the whale.
Oh my god, I almost pissed my pants, bro. Sorry.
Ugh.
From
My
that little
dog-
dog, that dog
My
scared you?
dude, my dog yawned and it sounded like a kid. And you guys know how my wife's and kids are out of town right now. You know how the fucking shit is gone with that.
All right, old man, put on your diaper. Let's
Wait,
go to
you
the next
kicked
topic.
Your wife and kids out of the house so that you could have the whole house to play Diablo in by yourself, no
Yeah, 100%.
distractions.
Yeah, absolutely. exactly what
He
I
had
did
to have his alone time with Mommy Lilith.
with Lilith.
It's true.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm like looking behind me just to make sure. Like, hey, if you guys hear that I get like a
Oh my God.
and I get nabs, just no. Someone call my wife.
So yeah,
Right.
speaking of the Lord of the Rings franchise, Amazon is trying to. Amazon and Tencent, I believe, is what it is. Isn't it?
It's Amazon and Embracer Group.
Embracer Group, my bad. Amazon and Embracer Group have announced that they are going to try for another Lord of the Rings fucking MMO.
Well, the MMO does
'Cause-
well now. I mean, the current MMO is not.
It does
terrible.
well now. It's not. I'm not saying that it's not, but Amazon's not going to make a fucking good MMO. Like they can hardly produce one that wasn't even made by them.
You're not wrong.
It's true. I don't have much faith in it.
I just don't. I don't have
No.
any faith in it, honestly.
No.
Like that's the
No.
worst part. Is like, and I don't know. Does Amazon have the rights to all of Lord of the Rings? Do they buy that, and they're the only people that can use it now?
Probably.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
It's not. It wouldn't be a shocker.
That's not a good time, man.
Well, let's talk about another MMO that. Woo, doggy. You want to talk about bad? Is not.
Is this that Throne and Liberty game?
Throne and Liberty.
This is
yep.
yeah. Why is this not working?
Because I don't even remember if I've ever heard of this.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past. I don't think we've talked
Have
about it on
we?
the podcast, but we've mentioned.
Oh,
it in
okay.
the
Then
past, yeah.
I don't know if I've heard of this one.
Yeah, this comes from the footage, by the way, is from Nico 2 low. So just to give props to where we're getting footage from. So Throne and Liberty is so this was supposed to be Project TL, which was supposed to be Lineage 2, I think, right? Or 3? Lineage, the next Lineage game. I know it was the next Lineage. I don't know which one, but it's supposed to be Lineage. And then it
I don't
became.
think that was supposed to be this game. No,
I'm almost 100% sure Lineage was Project TL was supposed to be. Regardless,
it was, but I don't think this was Project TL. This has always been.
I'm pretty sure that's what TL stood for, was Throne and Liberty.
Throne and Liberty.
Like,
Maybe, but I don't think that this is. I don't think this is next. I think it's Nexon that owns. What's it called?
I mean, I'll fact check real quick, but I am almost 100% sure that this is Project TL with Throne and Liberty.
Well, it is, but I don't know if Project TL was supposed to be Lineage 3 or whatever.
I don't think it was supposed to be a Lineage.
Anyway, NCSoft. Yeah, this was 100% supposed to be Lineage. This is supposed to be the next version in Lineage. Yes, this is series Lineage. This was supposed to be in the Lineage line. It was supposed to be the next Lineage, which then got canceled, became Project TL, and then TL became this. I'm looking at the Wikipedia and all that kind of stuff right now in the series line. So,
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
so
Lineage
anyway,
3.
Okay.
so this like and leading up to everything, like people were like, "Yo, TL, like Project TL looks dope. Like it's like has like all these
It did
cool
look dope.
mechanics."
It looked really good.
And then this came out, which is like,
I mean,
This looks
I-
like New Worlds.
I'm not gonna
This
lie.
is
Like
autoplay.
it still looks
Yeah.
good, but the actual
What?
like mechanics behind it are not great.
you mean like looks as in like graphically it looks good.
Yeah, like the graphics
Okay.
inside of the game.
I thought
look
you meant
great.
like
I can see,
gameplay.
yeah.
But the mechanics and everything behind it are just trash.
It's
Yeah, the
autoplay.
mechanics of what I'm seeing
Yeah.
right now, exactly. It just auto.
Well, this is autoplay. Yeah, it does have a basic like a full play that you can put down or like. You
well, I'm
can
sure,
actually
like you
tab target and
action
everything like
counter
that, but
tab target, whatever it's supposed to be.
it's still the same way. Like one of the biggest complaints that people had was like there's like no movements and action, right? So like in order to do an action like an auto attack, your character has to stop completely, do the attack, and then they can move again. Same with casting. There's no casting. There's no like a ranger can't be kiting. They have to like move, stop, use their bow, and then move, or move, stop, use an ability, and then move. Like that's a lot of people had an issue with that.
Just to point out to all the people that aren't live here watching us and watching the stream, this is not a streamer commentating on somebody else's playing.
No,
this is him. This is him playing the game.
autoplay.
He is
Yeah.
playing the game.
Yeah.
What? Like,
So
Yep.
the biggest glaring issue that I see with this form of game and their mechanics of like this auto shit is just bot infestation.
Yeah,
That-
no, 100%. Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
all
they
because
give
that
you
is
the ability to bot for free in the game.
Literally,
Built-in
it-
mechanic.
yeah.
people are just gonna bot the shit out of this game, and you see infestations like that in MMOs so frequently now, it's becoming a huge problem. This game, that's all it's gonna be.
I mean, I can see it if they're like, well, people are gonna bot anyway, so let's just give them the ability to do so right in
Right?
the
Like,
game.
let's just let them bot.
Like, let's
you
just
know?
let them do it, bro.
I mean,
I
they
think you guys are
can't
giving
ban
them
people
way
for
too much
botting
fucking
because you
credit.
don't know who's real and who's not.
I think you're giving them way too much credit in their theory of all this. I think they literally went and said, "Hey, we can make a fucking idle game and make it a big MMO, and we can make a shit ton of money, and we're gonna do that." So
Yeah,
that's what they did.
100%.
They made this is literally idle MMO, 100% go, and that's it. Like that was, and the sad thing
mean-
is that this Throne of Liberty was supposed to be this big fucking deal. If you knew Lineage, and had played previous Lineages, it was like people loved Lineage.
It's sad. I mean, it's sad to see where
I'm
the
a,
Lineage line has come.
some little tidbits of information. I'm an original Lineage player. I played both Lineage 1 and Lineage 2.
They were great games.
Oh, good for you.
They were great
Like,
games. They were
um,
amazing games.
This I do not trust. Don't if NCSoft
No.
makes a game, I'm fucking out. I'm done. I
Yeah.
don't fucking trust them.
It's-
I hate NCSoft. They are a fucking
This ain't-
shithole of a company.
This ain't the way to go, man. But like honestly, like it makes sense coming from an Eastern developer these days. Like I don't know, man.
Like the most
feel like-
laziest
like,
of lazy.
we just-
Ooh.
I feel like we just don't get Eastern MMOs anymore.
These
that-
graphics
we've-
just
we've
aren't it
never-
right here either.
We've never gotten Eastern MMOs that have been
It's like
great.
Final
Like
Fantasy.
I think we've got like a
Yeah, but
handful, you know.
worse.
But
I don't know. This is bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is
That's
autoplay, baby. If you want a
autoplay.
game
The
that you don't gotta
MMO.
play.
Fucking Throne of
Throne of
Liberty.
Liberty's it.
So I want to bring up this in case we are not able to get to the other topics. But this
Oh,
actually
no,
came out.
we're doing a 4-hour
we're not.
podcast. I told you.
Shut up. This
We're
came
doing
out
every one of these topics tonight. bro.
last week or 2 weeks ago, right? I think or last week.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks.
I mean,
ago.
this is pretty big.
This is big news.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we're able to cover it. So Overwatch 2. I know it's a dead game, but
You mean
there
Overwatch 1.5?
Was, yeah,
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
They
Overwatch, also known as AKA Overwatch Poo.
they were supposed to have the big thing about Overwatch 2 is that it's PvP and now there's free to play and then we're gonna have a PvE
Not just the
game.
big thing. What Overwatch 2
The main thing
was
Yeah.
supposed to be. What
the
it
main
why
thing.
they made Overwatch 2 in the first place was for the PvE.
Well, they canceled PvE.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, I am like 99.99% sure. I really need to go back and look at the at some of our past broadcasts, but I'm pretty sure that I told you. I told you so.
I don't remember that, but
Probably.
I have said in the past 100% that I did not think that this was going to go through. I didn't think that the PvE was ever going to fucking come to fruition.
I think I was on total agreement with you there because I
Yeah.
have never found the PvE.
This is
it's
this has been
okay,
something that we've
but
been
it's
talking
not
about
a
for a
full
long time.
game. It's not
Yeah.
a full game worth.
It's not it's a full game worth, but it's not a full game of like having to completely rehash an entire game.
right.
Like there was no reason for them to
So-
reset the entirety of fucking
Yeah, sorry to anybody who actually bought into this shit.
yeah, man,
that-
who would have done that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad for those guys.
Man, I feel
Those-
real bad for that.
There
They
better
got
be-
gypped.
Suckers.
there
man.
better be a lawsuit.
Fucking
there
suckers.
better be a class action lawsuit. I know that there are
Whales,
there are-
bro.
there
already
are-
Some might
is.
even
Class
call them
action,
whales.
Yeah, maybe.
I know that there are. Is there a class action lawsuit that is involved, or are they just being investigated for? What is it called?
If there's not a class action lawsuit going now, I'm willing to bet that there will be at some point in the future because this is straight up just the scummiest fucking shit.
Yeah.
And they said it in such a way that they didn't even apologize.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, it's not coming. Fuck you.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, well, this is what they said. They said that
Ugh.
basically we have a lot coming out this year, and even if you look at season 6, it's the biggest season we've ever launched in the history of
Yeah.
Overwatch. We were running a PVE event that season. We have a whole new.
that's
type
all this
of
game
PvE
was a
content.
big event.
And yeah, so we know that if we get into the seasonal cadence, we can release things in our season. Overwatch 2 is on a downtrend. Like the game is in a fucking shitty.
Overwatch
spot.
has been on a downtrod for
And-
a long time though. Like
Yeah.
it's been failing for a long time.
So yeah, so I don't know. They're not going to give people their money back. They'll basically be like, "Hey, we're going to give you a bunch of
course not.
in-game shit." Like,
Yeah.
that's what they'll
Yeah.
do. So
It's just scummy, man. It's just another one of those coins to stack on that pile of Blizzard. Fuck me once, shame on me. Fuck me twice. You know, fuck
we
me,
heard
fuck
this
me once,
so I
shame
can go
on
play
you. Fuck
Blizzard's
me
new
once.
game.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go play Blizzard's new game. Come on.
No,
hurry
we still got stuff, bro. We still got stuff to cover.
Yeah, we do. So that's Overwatch 2. I don't know, Bill, do you have any input on this or like thoughts on this? I know
No,
when it came out.
it's fucking hilarious, but it is the scummiest thing, and I would expect nothing less from Blizzard.
You want to know what else? Since we're on the issue of Blizzard and talking about this, did you guys see the interview that Bobby Kotick did for Vanity Fair?
No.
Did you guys hear about this? Holy fuck! So
You talking about the questions that were faked, or is that a different thing?
No. That's another thing that Blizzard did.
That's a whole other thing. Jesus.
No, this is so Vanity Fair sat down with Bobby Kotick to basically go over like the lawsuits, the accusations, the unfair work practices, everything, right? And this man on national television and national and worldwide publication got in front of an interviewer and was like, these were all falsified claims. They were found. We had investigative teams that came out. Let me hold on a sec. Let me see if I can find the because you have to like see this. Like the claims that he says are fucking wild. Hold on one sec.
Oh boy.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, this is just it's just one of those things with Blizzard, man. Like Blizzard, I'm kind of glad that they're going to Microsoft, because I'm really hoping that Microsoft will kind of straighten them out. But also like on that front, we're seeing that with Bethesda that, you know, Microsoft doesn't really want to put their hands into that kind of stuff. So I'm always curious if the acquisition of Activision Blizzard and everything like that is actually going to change anything, or if the shit with Redfall will kind of be a learning experience for Microsoft that, hey, maybe we actually do need to get our hands dirty with some of these acquisitions going forward in the future, you know?
Right. So they're not putting out fucking shit tier content and whatnot.
Well, I mean, he already came out and said that, like, basically, like when we acquire a studio and they are now under the brand of Xbox, and they're now under the brand of Microsoft.
I mean, they're like, liable now. Like they're
now under our name. Yeah. We need to be a little bit more, you know, choosy with what we actually push forward, you know.
I wonder. I do wonder what will happen to Blizzard when they do get acquired. Like, what if they're gonna pull a total 180, or if they're just gonna kind of be like,
well, Blizzard. when it comes to like actual like money being made, I think Blizzard is like the third in the Activision franchises. You've got Call of Duty, which is one of their biggest, you know, their biggest money makers. You've got King, which is their Candy Crush, their mobile bullshit. Which
I always forget. Yeah, that makes a shit ton because of the whales, right?
Yeah, like Will McPherson over there. And then you've got Blizzard, which
Did
Blizzard.
you just compare me to fucking Activision or Blizzard or fucking Bobby?
No, I called you Whale McPherson because you're a whale.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
But yeah, so Blizzard is like I think it's their third.
Yeah.
In money making. So I don't know. I'm of the opinion that I'm hoping that they're gonna kind of clean them up a little bit. But
it would be nice, right?
I don't have a ton of
faith.
Yeah, a ton of faith with it. Have you found that shit yet? We've stalled for long enough. Jesus.
I'm trying. Well, the problem is Vanity Fair fucking puts them behind a paywall, so I'm not wailing that.
Okay.
Anyway,
well,
basically what he has said was like, all of these emails were fucking falsified, that all of the complaints were not true.
Doesn't surprise me.
That everything, like, we have a culture that is very empathetic to our workers, and I'm just sitting here going like, holy shit, man, you were literally investigated by the fucking government that found all of this shit to be true. You're burning documents, which he was like, the documents that we were burning or shredding. He literally did not deny shredding documents. He was like, the documents that we were shredding were not pertinent to the current investigation. I'm like, oh, what do you mean the current investigation? Oh, if they're any investigation, you can't fucking shred them.
If people would just come to the understanding that we live in Bobby's world, not the other way around.
You remember that?
Everybody
scene?
would be a lot better.
Bobby's world.
Remember that scene from Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio gets up and he's like, "I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving." Yeah. Like that is literally Bobby Kotick, because he's like, because what has also come out was that, and this was one of the questions that Vanity Fair asked him was like, hey, Like, it's pretty well known that Microsoft is not keeping you around. That like once the deal goes through, you are gonna have to leave. And he goes, well, no, I have done really great things to build this company up from where it used to be to where, like, from the ground up to become this like multi-billion-dollar.
Well, and see that's I always laugh when people say that, because that's actually not true. Bobby actually has inside of his contract, from what I understand, and don't quote me on it, I'm pretty sure that was how it was, but from what I understand, Bobby is out, but he's going to be staying there for, I think, like almost a year, if I'm not mistaken, and then
That
he will
was
be on
prior-
retainer for a while. And I'm
That
not
was
sure
prior
if that
to
was
all of the regulatory stuff that came out or
Is it?
has been happening.
has that been
That's
updated.
basically one
Okay.
of the stipulations that the U.S. put into place to say, if you acquire this, he has to go, right?
Yeah.
And because
That's
because
interesting.
part of the
I think I
Because
remember
the
that,
U.S. because
Part
the
of the-
U.S. government can't technically demand that. That's
Well,
that's not in their fucking wheelhouse to do so. That's interesting.
No, but when you're being investigated by the U.S. government, you start to open your doors up a little bit more for the
True.
government to be able to say
True.
certain things. And basically, what he is saying, because part of this Vanity Fair interview was also Bobby Kotick saying that, well, the Microsoft deal doesn't go through, like, we'll find somebody else to basically take over. You know, like he was just, like, you need to read the fucking article. You need to
I'll have
watch
to
the
go and
video.
read it. Yeah.
It is fucking insane to listen to.
I don't
this
doubt
dude.
it, because
And the reporter
again,
just let him go, man, and it was great.
Yeah.
Like, the reporter was perfect. They're like, "Dude, this is a madman. Let this dude
just let him
ramble."
bury himself. Yeah.
And he he flat out called person a liar. He didn't deny. The person asked him about, "Oh, what about the whole thing about threatening someone to kill them?" Didn't deny it. Was just like, "Well, what I said was misinterpreted." And they're like, "You literally
We were just kidding,
have
Twitch. We were
fucking,
just kidding.
like, legit conversations with somebody about trying to kill somebody. What the fuck are you talking about? How is that misconstrued?"
Oh my god.
It was wild.
Yeah,
Go,
like I said, people just need to realize we live in Bobby's world, and that's
go look at that up. It's
how it goes.
crazy. The other news that happened today, which I think we can really honestly can be quick hit news, because it literally Meta had their showcase today, which was the showcase for their new Quest, or not Meta, but I guess it is Meta, but anyway, Quest
Meta,
had their new kind of software and hardware announcement. They announced the Quest 3, which actually looks pretty impressive. Like, I don't think that it's
I haven't seen it. What's the specs on it and everything like that?
Give me one sec. Let me pull the spec details real quick on
'Cause
this.
I know they announced the Quest 3, and then they also announced price drops on the Quest 1 and 2. Yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the
they
price,
did.
the price
The Quest 2 is going to $299, I believe, once the Quest 3
which
comes
was
out.
what it originally
That
cost.
cracks me up. That's what it was originally.
fucking
Anyway.
Was that really? No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
they boosted. They won like a year ago. They
Oh,
boosted up the prices.
So they bumped it up. So now they're bumping it back down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Let me see the MetaQuest 3. So there's basically going to be a 128 gig model that they're going to sell for $500 that launches on September 3rd. It is 40% slimmer optic profile, higher
Nice.
resolution. It has the highest resolution display yet.
What's do they say what the resolution is?
I don't think. I'm looking to see if I can get the specs of it. They redid the touch controllers, but I really think that they missed the opportunity here. The touch controllers are not like, I think they should have done like what PlayStation did with the fingerless controls, like their finger controls, like where you can actually see your finger.
Yeah.
It's basically just another
Yeah.
reversion of the touch controls, but they have it where it's got some more haptic feedback. It is going to have better camera quality and augmented
I did
reality
hear.
quality.
I did. Yeah, I was about to say I did hear something about their pass through is now like top notch. It's no longer like the shitty
Yeah, it's
like
not
CRTV.
It's, not, yeah,
it's
not
actually like really good
black
quality.
and white blurry.
Yeah.
And there, the article I'm reading doesn't give me the specs, but we
I'm
might
looking for them now.
try to get it. But the big thing was that they launched several games, and the game showcase was actually not very good. They did a new Asgard or Azor. What is the name of that? Wrath. What the fuck was the name of that game? I keep saying Asgard's Wrath, but that was not it. Is Azor's Wrath? Azor's Wrath 2?
Nice.
Oh my god, I don't know why I can't remember this game, but anyway, it's like their top selling Quest game. They are bringing out a sequel to it.
Sura.
Asura's Wrath. Thank you. That's it. They're bringing a sequel to that. They are bringing another version of Beat Saber. So that was kind of cool. But overall, like the games just is not like really wow me. There wasn't anything that was just like, oh my god, except for one mech game. The mech game did look really dope. Like it was like you get into this mech and you like fully control, like it was like Mech Warrior, but you are the mech, like which was really cool.
Or like you're the pilot or you're the mech.
They have a dual, like you can be the pilot or you can be the mech. So like it's kind of one of the
That is pretty cool.
So,
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on resolution. They just say that it's like double the resolution of the current one. So
Yeah.
whatever the current one is, double it.
So that's kind of cool. And then the other news is that right off the bat of that, Meta is basically killing the metaverse off. So
Yeah, well, we knew that was gonna.
Yeah, that
we
wasn't
talked
gonna
about that.
live.
We talked about that one of the podcasts that you were gone with your sickness. But we've known that.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say we
for a long
talked about that a long time ago when it first even
Yeah.
announced.
yeah, well, I mean, they put a shit ton of money into it, and then
Yeah, no, 100%.
just gonna kill it. So
Yep.
so yeah, so that's the thing. And then another quick hit news. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Ratchet and Clank. I'm actually really excited about this. Ratchet and Clank,
too.
the new one that was done for the PS5. Bill played it, reviewed it. It's coming to PC. Hope to God it's not a fucking busted
Great game.
port.
You guys are gonna have fun. Hopefully, it's Insomniac. I have faith.
Hopefully, it's not a shit port.
I don't know. The
Hopefully not.
Miles Morales was not a good port. Like there was some really bad
Yeah.
issues with Miles Morales.
So
The
with the quest
first
with the
Spider-Man
quest
was, I
3
thought.
with the quest 3, what people are expecting is 4,128 by 2,208. So 2064 by 2208 per eye.
Is that what PlayStation launched or has now? Is that the
I
same?
think so.
I'm not sure,
PSVR
maybe.
2. I think it's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Is it?
So quest 2 is 1920 by 1832 per eye. So it's double whatever the quest 2 has.
I mean, the
So-
big thing about the Quest is that how like it's a standalone unit. Like that is an amazing. It is an amazing unit. The Quest is an amazing.
Is the quest
amazing?
Is the quest 3 still going
Yep,
to be like a
standalone.
wireless standalone?
Yep,
Nice.
standalone. Yep.
Oh, that's good.
That's
So-
crazy, dude.
So yeah, so Ratchet and Clank coming to PC. I am excited about that. That launches in July.
Same.
And then we talked about the Embracer Group MMO, Lord of the Rings, and then PS5 there was a rumor that they were buying out CD Projekt Red or acquiring CD Projekt Red, which then quickly became debunked.
Yeah,
did it
the
really?
CEO
Already?
came out and was like,
I
"We're
don't-
not
yeah.
for sale."
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that's been CDPR and those guys have always been under the umbrella of like because they own what's it called a non what's their launcher
GOG?
name? Do you guys remember? Yeah,
GOG?
GOG.
Oh,
GOG.
GOG. Yeah,
they're the people that run GOG, which is like we don't want any any DRM, anything like that. So them going to fucking PlayStation makes absolutely fuck all no sense because they want their products out.
I didn't know they
everywhere,
own GOG.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that PlayStation's in the world to buy another studio somewhere.
They're in
Oh,
the
for
market.
sure.
I still think they're in the market
does-
for Square Enix.
I find it funny that it seems like every other week there's a new rumor that Sony's gonna buy
Google.
somebody and they just haven't yet.
Yeah. It'll come.
So
It's
As
just
soon,
biding their
like
time,
the
man.
day that Microsoft deal goes through, it'll come.
Probably more than likely
Yeah.
it'll be like a week after. They're like,
The
hey, by
day.
the way, we got him, bro.
Speaking of PS5, also, I guess it's the only version of Diablo 4 that's having login issues right now.
yep, can't log in there. So if you were hoping to get
weird.
to sign,
Unable to find a valid license.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
Error.
That's an interesting error too.
It's a very interesting error.
yeah, I mean, if you're hoping to get to your world race first 100, thousand,
Yeah.
whatever.
Unfair.
Shit.
Unfair.
unfair. They-
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
Unfair advantage.
Unfair advantage. I now know
Low key,
how
though,
to.
if they don't fix it within the day, I would highly recommend people get their refunds and
100%.
and just wait for full launch.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. 85.
Was that all? Was that all
That's
of
it.
them?
That's all
Was
the
that all the
news, man.
topics?
I don't
That's
know. I
all the
think we have
fucking
some other
topics.
I think we got a couple more actually.
No, there's
Uh,
Let me
nothing left.
pull up my first.
I'm pretty sure-
DLC footage,
yeah.
and we can talk
Yeah,
about
let's-
that
that
real
for
quick.
spoken.
Let's get that Forspoken in there. I
I'm
can
actually
can
gonna
go.
go.
Y'all
You
go
know,
right
I'm gonna
ahead.
go
I'm
buy
just gonna play
Gollum right
Diablo.
now. I'm gonna go buy Gollum. I'm gonna get some footage right on the podcast live.
Cool. You know what? Here, go. No, go ahead. Keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Uh,
No.
You want me to do that? I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it
go
right
ahead.
now.
Hold on a sec. Go ahead. Keep talking. Hold on. Just go ahead. Keep talking. Watch what pops up on your fucking face just real quick. Just watch what happens. If you don't think that I'm not gonna hit play right now and turn all of you guys into Diablo, look at what's on the screen right now. Go ahead. Fuck with
Can I
me.
be the butcher?
Fuck with me.
Goodness gracious.
So anyway, wait, I gotta get this off the screen. How do I? Hold on.
Good job, bro.
Oh
Yep.
shit. There you go. Okay. There you go. All right. Anyway.
Anyways,
There you go.
All right. Well,
It's been fun.
It's been a
85
great.
down the drain.
It's been a great
the books.
podcast.
Yeah.
Thank
Puppers.
you again to
Not down the drain. My bad.
Yeah, wait. We don't want to be down the train.
Yeah, we don't want to be down the drain.
We want to be in the books.
85 is in the books. And it's forever in your heart and in your podcast apps or anchor.fm/prepatch podcast or Spotify or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or any of the other 700
OnlyFans.
places. Oh yeah, OF, any place
Yep.
else you want to go and find our content.
Feet
Also, again,
Finder.
Scruffy's OnlyFans. He picks for $5.
I-
It's,
Cheap sale right now.
jeez, I'm really trying to give kudos here, and you guys are just being a complete dick.
Well, that's what we do. That's
I want to give huge props, seriously. And if you haven't, please go check out our YouTube page and our YouTube Shorts page, because Bill takes some amazing time to put together some amazing shorts along with Enigma and putting out some awesome short form content. So if you can't, the man takes the fucking headphones off when I'm giving him a
yeah,
damn.
right. He's out
Yeah.
of here.
Are
He's
you
out,
fucking
he's out.
serious?
I got doggo.
Oh wait,
I
wait,
got
no, it's
doggo.
worth it. It's worth it.
And Doggo's here too if you're wanting to view us live. If you're, this is why you want to come live. Come live so you can watch us
Exactly.
fucking.
If you don't watch
bring
for
a
us,
dog.
watch for Doggo.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, can't believe I'm
So
giving
we're
this
all
man
just
fucking
getting
props.
distracted by a
and-
dog
Right?
right
You
now.
just like, hey, you're doing a really good job, and you just like, fuck it.
Bill, I'm telling you,
I'm
you're
my
doing a
dog.
good job, man. Put your fucking headphones back on. Nothing. All right. Jesus. Anyway, well, that's it, guys. 85 is in the bag. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and being here. We will be back next week talking pretty much all about Diablo, because that's all, well, I'll be playing and Enigma will be playing.
It's
The rest-
actually just gonna be Sin on next week's podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna do our own thing. He's just gonna talk
Actually-
the entire 2 hours about Diablo.
Actually, you don't have to worry about it, because I will be playing Diablo 24/7 during the cast is happening, because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in LA. So you guys will be doing the
LA.
cast alone. Actually, you
Wow.
won't. I guess I could technically somehow.
Actually, yeah, we gotta have you here, bro. You've already used up all your sick leave. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to say this, but
Yeah, we
Bill,
didn't get a
you-
doctor's
do you,
note,
Do you want
you
that
know, we
level
couldn't
2
dismiss it.
attendance letter?
Bill,
Exactly.
you
we
didn't-
might
you didn't
have to
even-
write you up.
You didn't even
HR's
hear.
pissed.
Did you hear me talk about how good you were and how much I love the short form content?
I did. Yep.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, because you took off the fucking headphones and started playing with the dog. So
No,
Anyway.
I wanted to be praised while showing cute puppers, but nah, no
well,
problem.
anyway,
You
Um,
deserve it. Thanks for all that you do.
yeah.
For sure, man.
So yeah, so that's it, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night, and see you later. Bye.
Arrivederci, baby.
Doses.
Be better if I had the music queued up. Sorry. Bye.